at here. Let's see. Oh, people were not happy about my opinion about the battle pass. I think it's pretty weird that people like think that a battle pass is like bad. I don't know why people think that. Oh, what's this? Possible Quinn had a better take than Asmon. Okay, what? What did he say? It's exploitative? Wait, you think a battle pass is exploitative? Are raid lockouts exploitative? Because if you don't do it this week, you won't be able to get the loot? I mean, like... What the fuck? That's just like... It's because it gives you tasks you don't want to do? Then don't do the tasks. What the hell is wrong with people? What? Yeah, then don't, expecting to pay anything for a game is what's really exploitative? Yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and, we'll look at what Quinn said about it, and then I'll actually watch some videos. I'm just curious what this is. Okay. Isn't the only reason to put a battle pass in is to put a premium battle pass next to it, show you all the stuff you could have got if you paid? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't think that's super bad. Am I crazy? I don't think it's super bad that you can get a battle pass and you can advertise that you can buy a battle pass. There's no advantage that you get for buying it. It's just a cosmetic. Who the fuck cares? Like, why? I don't understand. Like, just don't buy the battle. It's cosmetic. You used to care about cosmetics? Yeah, but like the thing is, if you want to have a live service game that people want to play for a long period of time, that game cannot sustain itself on a $60 one-time purchase. And I think that it is a reasonable thing to do to give people cosmetic battle passes for money. I don't think this is unreasonable at all. It's just not. I don't know, do you take it such a fine? People just argue nowadays, passionate about these things? I don't know, maybe. Let's see what this is. Would you have these pro-pay opinions if you're still poor? I'm gonna ban you for the implication of what you're saying. I don't want to of course I would have these opinions because it's common sense. Pro-pay, like, why am I an advocate of, like, now I'm an advocate of paying? What the hell? Oh my god. Okay, let's watch this. Put on a shop, not make it a FOMO? Well, the FOMO makes people want to buy things. That's why, like, McDonald's has the McRib. Is the McRib exploitative because it's not out all the time? I don't understand. It's just, holy fuck, like, oh my god. This chat, yeah, this is outrageous. Like, the problem with this is, like, people that think like that, they muddy the waters between actual problems because they're so fixated on micro-analyzing things that don't matter, that they don't even think about, like, and also, like, any reasonable person is going to look at that and think, this is ridiculous. Like, how can you be so stupid to think this? And they're going to discount everything that that person says. And that's why I think that it's important to, like, have a measured opinion on things, because if you don't have a measured opinion and you always default into some disconnected from reality extreme, you're going to completely lose any reasonable person's agreement. Battle Pass is only free to play, acceptable if the game's free to play. I think that if you buy a game and if the game is continuously being updated and they have a battle pass that has only cosmetics that you can pay for, I don't think that's a big deal. It's called losing your credibility. Well, that's what people do. That's what I'm saying, right? And, like, yeah, you will. If you think that a battle pass is exploitative, nobody's going to take anything you say seriously. It's just insane. If it's only cosmetics, it's good. Yeah, I would say so. You pay $60 to have a battle pass in the game? Seriously, that's messed up. Well, I mean, a cosmetic? Yeah, a cosmetic battle pass, sure. I don't understand this. Like, I don't understand. Like, yes, it's not like you, like they said in the Diablo quarterly update, that all of the things that are beneficial to your character are part of the battle pass that's for free. Cosmetics matter, though. I wouldn't play if all the good stuff's locked behind a paywall. Well, you wouldn't play either if the game wasn't being continuously developed. And it's like they can either sell cosmetics in the store, or the game's not going to get continuously developed. So, like, in my mind, I think that there's two options. You either have a game that is developed and it gets regular updates and there are cosmetics in the store and it is what it is, or you don't and you have a game that gets released and there are no updates for it, or minimal or bad updates like Diablo 3. I would rather pay, or not even pay, but have the option, if it's in the game, to have cosmetics if it's leading towards the game being better. And I think a good example of this is Path of Exile. Path of Exile has cosmetics, and it gets regularly updated, and people are happy about it. PoE is free. It is free. I would argue that PoE, while PoE is completely free, their microtransactions are more mandatory than just cosmetics. Like, I would say to play the game at a high level, you pretty much have to engage in at least some degree of buying microtransactions. It's like they're like efficiency microtransactions. It's not just purely free, and anybody knows that if they've played the game. Anyway, let's go ahead and look at the Quinn clip.
Killing shit? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is this, dude? It's like, for free, just by playing. What? It's a fucking computer game that I fucking bought! What the fuck are you even talking about? Fucking... Are you telling me I can play the game that I purchased? Wait, and I get free stuff? Wait, I don't even understand. It doesn't make sense. What is this even saying,
You
bro?
can play the whole game for free.
What the fuck? Fucking gaming in 2022, dude. Like, holy shit. Guys, you can buy this game and then earn rewards for free.
Imagine
Just by
that.
playing, dude. You don't have to pay, just by playing. You don't have to fucking put your credit card in, cunt. You just have to play the game that you purchased. Like, what the fuck?
Well, like, yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, they obviously said that because of what happened with, they obviously said that with what happened with Diablo Immortal, and everybody expected that Diablo 4 was going to be pay to win. His point isn't even disagreeing with me. No, it's not. What is this here? Asmongold will ignore it. It's okay, let them know that they're wrong, too. Well, the reason I ignore people's feedback about stuff is because they're wrong. So, like, just because a lot of people think something's stupid doesn't mean that it's true. The idea that a cosmetic battle pass is problematic in a game is outrageous. This is an outrageous thing to get upset about, and it muddies the water with actual bad practices like gambling and currency obfuscation. So no, I'm not going to pay any mind to somebody who's going to tell me that this is bad or wrong or anything, because I know that's not true. Let's see. Oh, Diablo 4 already lost. Yeah, people get really mad. I was gonna throw bad takes if your account suffering. That's because I'm right. Like, everything that I've said, like, I've changed my opinion on a lot of things based off of new information or, like, a new viewpoint on it. But people telling me that I'm wrong is just stupid. Well, I know I'm right, and that's why he's on my Reddit and I'm not on his. And that's just the truth. Essen doesn't even believe how Texas says, keep saying when I get back I'm gonna be who I am, an asshole. Colpium didn't believe position influences his views. This is a terrible takes to the point where I'm thinking he might be delusional. See, one thing that you can always tell is whenever you have people that are talking about you having bad takes or anything like that, like, this is why I don't take any of it seriously. It's because none of it has any examples. There's no examples at all. That like, yeah, it's just they never have any examples. And any example that they have is just paper thin and stupid. I just ban them? Oh, I will ban all of them. Can't give examples if you delete the VODs. Well, I mean, you can't even remember? I mean, they never give a reason why you're wrong because you're not? No, I'm not wrong. It's common sense. But if you change your opinion with new info in the light, you would have at some point been wrong. Don't get me wrong, it's good to change your opinion, but saying that you're never wrong is just incorrect. I don't know, I didn't say that. You're right, changing your opinion does mean that your original opinion was probably wrong. But what I'm saying is that anything that I haven't changed my opinion on, I don't think is wrong. What is the logic behind changing my opinion on something that I think is right in the first place? Like, why would I willingly and intentionally hold an opinion that I know is wrong? That doesn't even make any sense. It's like, oh, I know the Earth is round, but I'm still gonna think that it's flat. How does that, like, that's just, it's completely illogical that I would think that. I've never said that I've never been wrong, right? Unless I'm like trolling or something like that. But what I'm saying is that if I'm wrong about all of these things, I think it would be a lot easier for people to provide examples. But they never have examples because I'm not wrong. To developmental live service costs money. Yeah, it does. People can't explain their viewpoint. Clear explanation. Probably have no clue what they're saying or typing. No, I know that. Like, I never really question what I think a lot. Like, if a lot of people disagree with it. Like, it's like, for example, like, if I say something and then a lot of people get mad about what I say, like, I never think to myself, oh, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, just like it doesn't happen. And so, like, it doesn't... Just people angry because you don't play Final Fantasy? Well, I have no idea. Let me look at some of the other ones. Just prove me wrong. Well, I think that, yeah, I mean, like, if you say something and, you know, like, you have an argument for, like, logically why it's right, and then somebody says you're wrong, and there's no argument for why it's wrong, then I think that's bad. Battle passes, login rewards come with a premium upgrade, the best way to monetize a game, as long as it doesn't affect the power of players. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how I see it too. It's like if you have a game and you buy a game, I just, again, I feel like Path of Exile as an example is a very disingenuous example, because it is, any serious player would tell you that in order to actually like play the game at a high level, you do have to engage in some degree of microtransactions. It was free to try, but you do need to buy stash tabs. Yeah, I think that you do. You can't even trade without a premium tab. Yeah. Also, PoE sells loot boxes too. And don't the loot boxes have exclusive rewards in them? Yeah, they do. Yeah, and that's the thing. I thought so. And cosmetics though? Yeah. I mean, yeah, sure. Loot boxes are FOMO as well. Yeah, I think that a lot of people that use other games as examples, like Path of Exile, like, I think Path of Exile has a very ethical and good microtransaction model outside of the loot boxes. I'm not a fan of the loot boxes. Everything else about it, I think, is actually very fair. I like how Path of Exile is monetized, and I think that it's fair. But to say that it's not problematic at all, I think is unreasonable. PoE doesn't have a base price. Well, if you'd listen to what we were saying before, like, you'd know that if you want to play PoE seriously, you pretty much have to spend money on it. Like, a good example of this is, like, if you want to go and look up on, like, you know, look at any PoE stream and look at their stash tabs. Every single one of those people has a lot of stash tabs. Like, I'm not going to accept the idea that stash tabs are optional if you want to play the game at any sort of a serious level. It's ridiculous. With battle passes, they're boosting the concurrent players by locking you into playing to get the things that you paid for. We need to start doing the reacts in a minute. Sorry, I'm just focusing on this. You didn't pay for them though. Like, I mean, aside from the box cost, like, it's a battle pass, and this is a system that you just don't even have to do. I don't understand that. Like, you're being locked into it. I feel like every game, it's like you're being locked into, like, for example, you can extrapolate that logic that if you spend money in the game and you don't get a reward, and the reward is obtained through playing the game, you can use that exact same logic with World of Warcraft or a Final Fantasy subscription too. because you don't get any rewards from the game if you don't play it in a certain way. It's a logically inconsistent thing to say. $150 on tabs. Yeah. I think most people probably spent way more on tabs than they would on a base game. However, people make that argument though, whether I think it's right or not, it's not hypothetical. Yeah, well what I'm saying is like the people that make the arguments for these other games don't actually even know about the other games. Like they think that you don't need stash tabs in PoE or there's no loot boxes in PoE. So is PoE predatory then? I think that the word predatory can be used in a lot of ways. And I view loot boxes to be predatory categorically. Is the game as a whole predatory because it has one loot box system? I don't know. I mean, like, it doesn't, like, the entire game is not fixated around that loot box system. And so, would I say the game is fundamentally predatory? No, I would not. However, I think that a system like that is predatory. Does that make sense? And I think also, like, on a fundamental level, all advertising is predatory. Like, you're trying to get somebody to do something that they would not naturally do. People are sad about capitalism in general. Well, the worst thing to do is if you're upset about something is to complain about the stuff that doesn't matter, because then nobody will take you seriously. Let's see if there's anything else worth looking at here. Oh no, what's this? Is this the... Oh, there's a video about it. Okay, good. Oh, this is good. We can watch this. 54 minutes? Are you fucking kidding me? Jesus. So a 3-hour react video. Yeah, exactly. Okay, new Nixian video. Yeah, I'll look at that in a few minutes. No way that shit's real. Okay. Most disgusting rooms on Twitch. Is this...
Is McDonald's back?
Oh, this is just everybody. Okay, let's, I might watch this. Okay, let's see. MMO means nothing anymore. That's interesting. How long is this video? 15 minutes? I expected that to be 35. Okay, yeah, we'll look at a few more of these here. And, 8 minutes exclusive gameplay. I might watch this too. This is pretty cool. Oh, Andrew Tate got banned. I guess, you know what? We should talk about this. Yeah, we should talk about this. This guy got banned. Okay. Yeah. Let me go ahead. I'll get the camera on and we'll get this started. Why is it not working? It's because it's not on, that's why. It was not on, and the camera wasn't on, so it didn't work. Okay, let's see what we've got here, and I'll go ahead and make sure I get everything else pulled up. Like, where's a good fucking link to this? Okay. Give me just 1 second. I've got to find a link to it. Okay. This is good enough. These are just some opinions about it and stuff like that, so I think we'll just start with that. And let's see here. We'll get this open as well. Where the fuck was it? There it is. It's kind of bright. That's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Okay. Yeah, we'll just look at this here. Okay, close that out. And let's see here. I think that's good enough. All right. So let's see. White mode, yeah. I was hoping that I could find like better links to it. But like all I'm really getting here is just like a bunch of just bullshit, right? Let's see, is there any like that's just latest, that's just bullshit. Okay, well it doesn't really matter, right? It doesn't matter. Like I think everybody kind of knows what's going on here, what happened. I want to talk about this. Pretty much a lot of people have asked me about this quite a whole lot. About Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate has been banned from Facebook, and I'm pretty sure Instagram is owned by Facebook, so he got banned from Instagram too. I know it uses their photo hosting at least. And so anyway, Andrew Tate, yes it is. All right. So he got banned for that, and this has brought up a big conversation about deplatforming. Is it okay for somebody to be effectively removed from the internet, considering that the internet is owned? Let's be honest, right? I mean, like, there is a handful of companies on the internet that own pretty much the entire market share of the places that people go, right? Like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, a handful of other ones, and that's about it. And so I want to talk about this and give kind of my opinion on it, because I think I'm probably going to get people that are mad at me that like Andrew Tate, and people that are mad at me who don't like Andrew Tate. And I think that usually that means that I'm probably in the right spot. And so anyway, the way that I look at deplatforming and if that's a good decision or not is if the person is using the platform to break the law. And I think that's probably the best way to look at it. In terms of actually removing them from the platform entirely, I believe in personal censorship. What that means is, like, let's say on Twitter, you don't want to read anything about spoilers from the new, the new Amazon Lord of the Rings show or something like that, right? You can just like make it to where you filter out everything about Rings of Power. Or you don't want to hear anything about Better Call Saul, you can filter that out entirely. Or you don't want to hear anything about Donald Trump or Joe Biden. Any of this stuff, I think you should be able to completely filter it out, and you shouldn't have any restrictions for that. I think people should have the people should have the ability to say yes and also to say no to seeing certain things that they don't want to see. I don't think that people have the right to force themselves and force other people to see their stuff. Do you see kind of what I'm saying? And that's about, however, where it ends. And I think that the main exception for having somebody deplatformed is if they are using the platform to break the law actively. Like, for example, if somebody is, like, let's say using Twitter to, like, hook up with underage girls, or somebody is using Twitter to, like, lure people into, some sort of, like, weird cult or something like that. I feel like in those cases, it's very much a good decision to have this person removed from the platform because they are actively using it to break the law. I think that makes sense, right? But I don't think that this should be done just because a person has unpopular opinions. And the reason why I think that is because what's unpopular changes. It changes all the time. And also I think that it gives companies too much power. And I do think that, like, while the internet is to a degree a free space, like you can go on an internet website and do what you want to do on that website, I do think that as the main big, like, social media websites have just solidified their control over social media and just in general public discourse, I do think that there should be some regulation. They should not just be able to automatically remove somebody from the platform because they don't like them. And I think that this could cause a lot of problems, and I think also it's a matter of accountability. Do you want a company that has private interests removing people from a platform that might have political ideologies that could basically make that company less money or something like that? No, I don't think that you should. I don't think that you would. So I think that deplatforming should be limited to people who break the law. And that's what I'm saying. Freedom of speech must be protected. And I do think that once something gets... I know that people get very afraid and they get very worried about, oh, well, this is regulation and, this is America, like, things shouldn't be regulated. The fact is, like, everything that you do is regulated, right? I mean, the internet is already regulated very heavily. ISPs are regulated. The radios are regulated. Television is regulated. Cars are regulated. Everything is regulated because it's in the best interest of the people. Because a company's best interest is not to make people happy, it's to make money. And so you need an advocate for yourself, and I think that in a lot of ways that's how government regulations should be. Are all regulations good? Absolutely not. A lot of regulations fucking suck. DMCA is one of them, in my opinion. It should be updated. But anyway, I do think that in general, there needs to be a certain degree of regulation and accountability whenever a person just gets removed from the platform without any sort of, without breaking the law. And I think that this is what makes the Andrew Tate thing very interesting. Because Andrew Tate breaking the law is very much a gray area. Andrew Tate has been convicted for, accused and charged for human trafficking. But he never got actually convicted. He never served a prison sentence for this. And a lot of these things that have been said that he's done have not been unequivocally proven beyond the shadow of a doubt. I think that that's something that people can generally agree on. Do you see kind of what I'm saying? Because he moved countries. Yes, he did move countries. But I don't think that, again, that does not determine 100% whether he was innocent or guilty. Do you see kind of what I'm saying? And people who agree with Tate takes would still do this even if he's deplatformed. You don't seem to realize this gives him power for his followers. I think that it's bad to be banned from Instagram and Facebook. I think that's a very big negative, and it definitely hurts somebody's voice. Yeah, absolutely. Probably not real, even though he said women are his property. Yeah, and I think that, like, again, having really stupid opinions... Should having really stupid opinions be something that you get deplatformed for? In my opinion, I think that it should go off of the law. If the person is breaking the law, or they are saying you should hit your girlfriend if she disobeys you, or you should take her money away from her, which he arguably did say, and that's why I'm saying this is a very gray area, then I think that sure, absolutely, because this person is advocating violence. I think that most reasonable people online agree that advocating violence is this is a line you do not cross. And I think the problem with Andrew Tate is that there are a lot of things that he said, videos that have been posted, where he's either being violent or he's advocating for violence. And I think that you can always play off the idea that, oh, well, he's only doing this ironically. This is, it's for humor or something like this. There's no punchline except for whenever he punches somebody else. There's no punchline here. It's not being presented as humor. It's being presented as something. It's like, for example, if the president goes up and he says, "Oh, we're gonna bomb. Let me think of a country. We're gonna bomb France. We're gonna bomb France tomorrow," and then everybody gets really mad about this, and he's like, "Bro, I was just joking. I was just kidding. Like, I wasn't really gonna do that. Like, chill out. I was just joking." And so, no, I don't think that this is, I don't think that's an excuse. And I think that a reasonable person would come to the conclusion that what he was saying these things authentically. Would you guys agree with that? Like, listening to Andrew Tate talk about these different topics, especially with, like, you know, women and things like this, that these were things that he was saying authentically. It was not being said facetiously or for effect. I think this is something that he genuinely believed. Right, yes, I never felt like it was a joke. Yeah, I never did. And also, he didn't ever come out and say right after that, no, I clearly don't mean this. I'm just joking. Like, maybe he said it once, but it's like, you did it 50 times. You said it one time. You know, like, that's, come on, man. And so, yeah, 95% is genuine. He does troll sometimes. I think I agree with that, too. I definitely agree. Social networking companies didn't decide if they're a platform or a publisher. I don't think it really matters if they decide. I think that, you know, in the same way that the railroads were regulated, ISPs are regulated, television is regulated, these things should happen to the extent that these companies become a harmful force in society. You should write to be a piece of shit, so Tate shouldn't be banned. Well, as I said, I think that the line for getting banned on all platforms should be breaking the law with those platforms. I think that is a very clear and obvious and easy to understand line that pretty much everybody can agree on. Does this seem agreeable to you guys? Like, I don't know. I think this is a very agreeable perspective to have. Breaking the law with clear intent. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, there are some cases like, oh, we're breaking the law. They posted a picture of smoking weed. Like, who cares, right? But I mean actual things that are, like, real crimes. Yeah. Or the platform policy. See, like, I don't really care what the platform policy is. I don't think that really matters. I don't think that like, maybe I'm not expressing this in the right way. Oh, sorry, I turned this off. I haven't been touching my monitor. I haven't been expressing this in the right way. I don't really care about the rights of a public company if the public company's actions are at the detriment of the public. So if I don't care about, like, oh, well, they should be able to do this. Yeah, but if you do this and you fuck everybody else over, well, get the fuck out of here. Like, you shouldn't be able to do that. So I think that public companies exist to primarily serve the public. And so if that's not happening or there's some disconnect there, I think that you need a regulating authority to come in and make sure that doesn't happen. And so, yeah, Congress should supersede platform rules. Absolutely. In the same way that there are many examples with businesses that have to do the exact same thing. Showing instructions on how to modify a microwave transformer, create fractal art isn't illegal, but it's deadly if people don't understand the risks, especially if they're dumb. Yeah, I mean, I think that, like, it's, again, I feel like that's kind of a common sense perspective to have. Not every single thing, like, I'd have to think about, like, every single circumstance, and I can't think of every single circumstance in general, because that's why, like, things like this are never just, you write down one sentence. This isn't the 10 Commandments, right? Like, this is very involved, and things are circumstantial. So I can't make a specific idea for that, but I think that in general, that's where I draw the line. Government does not want to regulate, so they force social medias, and then they blame them for doing it badly. Well, I don't care about that. I just care about, this is my viewpoint on it. That's all. And so, yeah, I chat with Greek a while ago. Shows the danger he has to society. So many people look up to him and echo his horrifyingly, objectively horrifying opinions. Yeah, but here's the problem, is that there's people that you agree with who other people think the same thing about them. So, like, if you want to take away somebody else's rights and, like, freedom of expression to be able to say what they think and express themselves and have the opinions that they have, the only thing you have to do for that same thing to be used against you is to wait. Because eventually things are going to change. Eventually those people will have the power and you won't have the power, and then they're going to take it away from you, and they're going to be a lot more vindictive about it because you tried to do the same thing to them. I think this is a bad idea. We shouldn't even go down that road to begin with. I think it's a very simple line you should not cross. And so, reminds me of extreme feminism, blue hair, crazy ladies, same. Yeah, I think that makes sense, sure. In general, I do agree with that. But I don't think that crazy feminist ladies should get banned off of Twitter. I just disagree with them. And I think people can dunk on them the same way they dunk on Andrew Tate for complaining about people walking around with a water bottle. It's fucking ridiculous. But that's the kind of shit this guy says. And that's why he's popular, of course. People love that. But I think that being outrageous and being stupid and saying things that are dumb or disagreeable, it should not necessarily be a deplatforming thing. So we got banned. Yes, he did. Actions has consequences. You should know rules, not break them. It's on him. Well, I don't agree. Well, obviously actions do have consequences, but you could apply that same logic. So I understand, and we've talked about this before, but I'll mention it again. The idea that freedom of speech is not freedom from consequences is completely fucking wrong. Freedom of speech is fundamentally freedom from consequences. It's like in North Korea, you can say whatever you want. It's just the consequence afterwards is they put you in front of a firing squad. Yeah, you've got freedom of speech. You just lose your life if you say this. So I think it's an outrageous thing that you're saying that, like, oh, this is the same thing. No, it's not. Listen, I understand what you're saying, and of course companies should have some degree of control of things, exactly. But whenever you're talking about banning people with a large public profile like this, I consider it problematic, and I consider it dangerous. I do. And not the fact that it's being done, but the fact that there's no oversight for it, and there's no accountability. I think that's very bad. Ban Andrew Tate. Drake, you typed out like 10 times now. Like, that's enough. I don't want to see it again. What phrase means that you can lie to someone, defamation, or incite violence without consequences? I don't know what that means. Yeah, I don't know what that means. And so let's see here. Freedom of speech doesn't exist within private companies. Facebook was owned by the government. Then you have freedom of speech. Facebook was owned by the government. Was dumpster fire. Well, freedom of speech doesn't exist with private companies. How would you feel like, so like, for example, like, let's say AT&T is the only, AT&T is the only internet provider in your area, or Time Warner Cable, or Spectrum, or like a Google, Google Fiber. Like, let's say you only have one of these in the area, and they decide that if you go to certain furry porn websites, you automatically lose your internet. They will take your internet away from you, and they will deny you service. Do you think they should be able to do that? I think no. I would rather have people yiffing than have people kicked off the internet. And I understand I picked a very bad example to make this example. This is about ISPs, though. It's about denial of to shit social media platform that's cancer. Well, I think that it's fundamentally the same thing, right? Am I crazy? I think these are the same things. Yes, because you agreed to sign up to their service. No, I disagree with that. I don't care what the contract is. If the contract is exploitative towards the person, again, a public company needs to operate in the best interest of the public. And if a public company is not operating in the best interest of the public, then that needs to be changed. That's all there is to it. Did it drop your tank? Yeah. You're talking about net neutrality shouldn't exist. Very dangerous. People fail to realize that when something like this happens to them, they defend themselves. No, you allow it. Yeah. You don't let stuff like this happen. And but the furry example was something. Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Honestly, they're acting in the best interest of the public by banning Tate. No, and again, I think that's why I don't know whether it was the right decision or not. So, like, I'll give, like, my verdict on this, right? I don't know if it was the right decision to ban Andrew Tate or not, because to be honest with you, I haven't really looked at a lot of his content. I keep getting recommended, like, YouTube shorts of this guy. I've watched, like, maybe a dozen of them. I don't know about, like, all of this, like, human trafficking, like, abuse stuff. Like, I have no fucking idea. And so I don't have enough information to make a deterministic, like, decision, was this a good idea or not? But I'm saying categorically, I think that it's a bad idea for people to be removed off social media platforms entirely whenever they did not break the law. You see what I'm saying? Public companies have to work in the best interest of the public. What for? We live in capitalism, so obviously they work for what's best for the company. Well, we don't really live in capitalism. Like, there's no place in the world where there's actual, like, There's like every economic system exists not as in like as like this fucking like what's the way to say it? None of them exist exclusively as capitalism or socialism. They are always a mix of the two. America is the same way, Norway is the same way, different percentage, same situation. You see what I'm saying? People actually think we're in a free market are dumb. Yes, exactly. And you live in a corporate oligarchy of a country, my guy. Corporations going to do what they're going to do. Well, I mean, I agree with you. I think that's very bad too, but I don't think that's the way that it should be. I'm giving my opinion on the way that I think that it should be and what I think is the right thing. I know that that's not how it is. I'm fully aware of that. Trust me. But this is just what I think. Banning of the options. What are the consequences they should face for their socially unacceptable... what's this here? Shit, let me read this. Socially unacceptable opinions and things like that. Socially unacceptable behavior because there needs to be consequences or people like this will become more radical. Well, like, so here's the thing. Who are you to impose a consequence on another human being? Who are you to take this and impose a consequence on another person? You're not God. What is the consequence? Well, maybe because you don't like it. Yeah, you don't like it. You don't get to just decide this collectively that, oh, well, enough people dislike this, well, then it gets to be removed. I mean, I feel like this has happened in culture many times, and it's been bad pretty much every single time. I think this is ridiculous. Yeah, I completely disagree with that. Were you to say that I can't decide that? Well, I think that we've all collectively decided that you can't let individual people make decisions for other people with no accountability. This is obviously a bad idea. Like, society would not function if everybody got to punish everybody else in the way that they felt fit. Like, society could not function this way. It's impossible. Yeah, Facebook is an individual. Well, I mean, Citizens United. However, I understand that, but they are a public company, so I think the same thing applies in a different way. Yeah, sure. And so, yeah, what's this here? Was he talking about present? Well, what do you mean about that? Society isn't functioning well right now. But what I'm saying is that, like, everything that you consider socially unacceptable, somebody else doesn't consider socially unacceptable. So I think that people in general and society in general has agreed that you can do what is socially unacceptable to the extent that it does not harm other people. I don't know. I think that's like generally the unspoken rule, and that's kind of like what the laws pretty much imply, right? I mean, shit. I think that's obvious. Yeah, of course. Fair take, exactly. And would it matter if there were enough same-size social media platforms? No, I don't think it would matter as much. But I think that it would matter if they were acting collectively. Yeah, so it like yes and no. Everything socially acceptable that's worthy of censorship, banning is legal. Yeah, I think that's probably true. Yeah, anything that's like so socially unacceptable that it would fall under that is probably already illegal. That's a very good point. I didn't think of that. Wouldn't that support his ban as radical opinions harmed youth and led followers to breaking laws? Well, if you can draw a correlation to that, then why isn't he in jail? You see what I'm saying? Yeah, if that's true, then why isn't he in jail? So I think that, like, again, if you can draw a connection between a person's actions and what somebody is, like, saying. So, like, for example, if somebody posts somebody else's address, and it's, like, some famous person, they post a person's address, and they say, go burn this person's house down, and then the person's house gets burnt down, I think you can pretty well assume that the person burnt the house down because of what that famous person posted their address, right? Like, you can clearly draw, like, a 1-2 comparison. So, yeah, I think everybody would agree, like, yeah, of course that guy's a piece of shit. Of course he should go to jail, right? But it's more complicated than that in, like, 99.9% of circumstances. But who do you blame? Well, who says only one person's to blame? You put both of them in jail, in my opinion. Yeah, take the people that smoke weed out of jail and put those people in there instead. If you don't know the history of this person, a good idea to argue in favor of him. I'm not. If you think that I'm arguing in favor of him, you're not even listening to what I'm saying. Yeah, you're not even listening. Like, I never said that. The person exposing the dress, person decided to ask her, but yeah, obviously, it's just common sense. Yeah, I'm not defending this guy at all. I'm saying that I worry about people being deplatformed on a massive level, and the power that these companies have that is not in any way counterbalanced by a government regulatory authority. I think this is really bad. I do. I think it's really, really bad. And I think that it will only get worse. So yeah, I can say that and simultaneously say that I don't necessarily agree or disagree with him getting removed. Does that make sense? What about cancel culture? Same thing, you cannot regulate it? I don't know where that's coming from. Government can't force the platform to keep someone on their platform. Come on now. Well, of course they can. Yeah, absolutely they can. What do you mean? They're the fucking government. Like, that's not, yeah, what do you mean? Obviously. Yeah, let's see here. I'll read a few more comments, and then I mean, again, that's basically what I think about him getting banned. It's not really anything else beyond that. It worries me about that kind of stuff. I'll read some of the opinions on it, and then we'll kind of move on. These are some opinions on Twitter about the situation, and we'll go from there. And don't listen to this guy on governance. Well, why? Because what, are you afraid of him hearing? You afraid of people hearing too much shit that's true? Is that it? Yeah, I'm right. Like, I don't see how people can say that I'm wrong about this whenever you have hundreds of years of precedent of the same thing happening. It's like somehow this time it's different? No, it's not. It's the same thing. It's happened 10 times, 20 times before then. Only morons are disagreeing. Yeah, it's like, read a fucking history book. This has happened many, many times. People who are comfortable with censorship don't know history, have lived a blissful life. It's not about censorship. It's about people having accountability. I think that accountability is very important. Exactly. Does this mean all platforms of him on those videos got to be taken off? Realistically, that won't happen. Alex Jones is banned on Twitter, but he's on Twitter all the time. So I don't think that's the case. And so, yeah, right, if you looked at Tate, you'd see why he was taken down. He's committing crimes using social media. Oh, okay. Okay, well, if I looked at everything and I came to that conclusion, that I would agree with him being removed. I would agree with him being removed. You see what I'm saying? Like, I have no problem saying that. Yeah, I have literally no problem saying that that's the case. I think Andrew Tate is an asshole. I do. Like, I think that, yes, there are some things that he says that I think do have validity and truth in them. But it's, in my opinion, like, probably 50-50. And I think that the stuff that he says regarding women is, like, 100% wrong. And the fact is that saying stuff that affects other people and how to treat other people is much more important than how to live your own life. Because that hurts other people. Zach, you're also an asshole. Let's be real. It takes one to know one. And so, yeah, a company can just move to another country with their servers. USA government can't do shit. The USA government can't do shit. You are crazy. You are actually crazy if you think that there is not a way to deal with this. Like, who said that? Like, it's just, again, it is so easy to deal with this stuff. It's simple. They just don't do it. They can do it easily, man. Doesn't think what, I think he probably doesn't, even believe what he says. It's all an act. Oh, I don't know about it being an act. I don't think that it's an act. I have a feeling that it's not an act. So let's see here. I've had so many people were defending Andrew Tate, saying he shouldn't be deplatformed. Same people would defend a Nazi calling for violence. Somehow that's okay against women. He says women should be owned, controlled, and deserve rape. It's calling for violence. I've never seen about deserve rape. That's a lot. I think the first two, it's like, yeah, I think you can pretty much draw that conclusion. Absolutely, sure. Deserving rape is a bit much. The Nazi card. Well, what I'm saying is, like, everybody would be on the same page of deplatforming somebody because they're advocating violence. It's not because they're a Nazi. It's because they're advocating violence. That's the thing that's important, because that's what's against the law. And so, yeah, putting in words he never said. He said women should take accountability for their assault. I don't know. I didn't read what he said. Let's see here. This is just some bullshit. Hassan, Andrew Tate obviously didn't invent misogyny, had no issue becoming its online face as he skyrocketed to fame over the last few months. Of course, social media platforms going to use an example to act like they're doing something even though they directly contribute to the problem. Exactly. Oh, why do we keep seeing so much Andrew Tate nowadays? Well, I don't know. Maybe because the social media algorithm did that. Yeah, social media can say, no, Hassan is right. Hassan's completely right. Like, the social media platforms, for how much they hate the fucking guy, you'd think he was their best friend for how much they were promoting him. And I understand that this is something that's happening. It's not like they're clicking the button to, like, show more Andrew Tate, show more Andrew Tate. They're not doing this willingly. But the systems that they have, I think that social media algorithms are designed to radicalize people. They are designed and programmed. It's in their DNA to radicalize people and to show people things that they get angry about, because people are more likely to respond to things that they get angry about, and the social media algorithms reward people with responding to something with more things like that. And so if you're responding to things that are making you angry, you're just going to be posted with more things that make you angry. You think that's known. Exactly. And so it's common sense. I agree with what he's saying here completely. I'm very glad to see more of this, and hopefully we see more people talking about this. So anyway, let's look over here. Ban educated is done. Ideas should be challenged. If he spreads misinformation, it should be countered in the public sphere. Yes, I also agree with this. Again, I agree if he did not break the law. If it is proven that he's broken the law using the platform, then I think obviously he should be deplatformed. Of course. Yeah, it's common sense. Just remember, most people disagreeing do not know a world where social media didn't exist. Well, I mean, who cares what happened 20 years ago? This is what happened now. Like, this is what's going on now. So I make an income on TikTok. I get way more views whenever I post something controversial. Yeah, of course. Who wouldn't? Andrew Tate, people have a shit ton of incentives to keep posting about him now. I guess you're on point with that, but I also think his followers mass post on every single platform. Andrew Tate has a lot of people that are massive simps for him. I think that it's ironic whenever people like Andrew Tate complain about guys simping for girls online, but I've seen more guys simping for Andrew Tate than any girl on OnlyFans. Now, I think there's a lot of growing resentment that guys have, and this is just the truth. There's a lot of growing resentment that I think especially young guys, I'm talking like 14 to like 27. These guys around this age, that's the time that they see girls that they know getting massive advantages because they're attractive and this guy isn't getting anything. They see, you know, some girl turns 18 and she makes $100,000 on OnlyFans. He turns 18 and his dad tells him he's got to get a job at Target. So yeah, I can see why a lot of guys are angry at women. I understand where the anger is coming from. I don't agree. I think it's stupid, personally, because it's like there are a million other things that you're not doing. You're not successful. You're not trying to be successful. You're sitting at home watching anime and jerking off all day. I mean, like, I'm not gonna feel bad that, like, the world's out to get you. Like, I mean, you're getting yourself as well. So yeah, women, one time women get a leg out, let's beat them down. Well, I think that people just, people are not thinking about, like, whenever you explain to an 18-year-old or a 20-year-old guy, nobody cares about what happened 100 years ago. Their life does not revolve around what happened 100 years ago. Everybody that was involved with that is dead. This is not their life. So you cannot give somebody some sort of historical context behind something and then tell them that's why their feelings are wrong. It's outrageous. You're not seeing things from their perspective. Breakdown goes like this. Girls turn 18, start selling their bodies. Guys sell drugs or take up crime. Two sides to each story. Yeah, but the difference is that crime is against the law and OnlyFans is not. Obviously, the solution is make OnlyFans against the law, right? Of course. And so, listen. What I'm really trying to say here is that I think that's why there are so many guys that like somebody like Andrew Tate. And I actually think that the rise of Andrew Tate and people like him is actually kind of a sad thing. And it's not sad because the opinions are popular, but it's sad because of why the opinions are popular. I think the reason why the opinions are popular and why people like him are popular is that young guys, again, usually don't have a lot of direction. They might not have a strong father figure in their life. They might not have that older brother that sets them straight. Andrew Tate very, very well fills in the role of your older brother who hits you with the reality check whenever you tell him that you're gonna fucking date this girl that's super hot in Canada, but her dad doesn't let her use the mic. Andrew Tate comes in and he fucking says, snap back to reality. Nope. You're talking to a guy. You see what I'm saying? It's very specific. Yes, of course. And so all I'm really getting at is like, there's very, very, very clear like value in that for a lot of guys. And I think that the reason it's valuable is because they're not getting that in their real life. Like fundamentally, they're not getting that in their real life. And also, you know, guys, it's like you look at the numbers, right? There's like graphs that show this, etc. I've shown the graph before. You know, a lot of guys don't have girlfriends. And like the amount of guys with girlfriends that are hooking up with girls, it's gone way down. Way, 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 way fucking down. And guess what? Guys don't like that. Yeah, they don't like that one bit. And so, you know what? They're gonna upvote Andrew Tate. Yeah, that's it. I have no girlfriends. We're in the dumps. Yeah, Cody knows. Well, me and Cody, the thing is, we used to literally have a copy-paste message that we would just send to girls. Hey, you're really cute. Would you like to talk? Hey, you're really cute. Do you have any other pictures of yourself? Over. And you know what? Hey, whenever you're fishing with a grenade, eventually you might get a few fish. It's crazy. I'm surprised that it worked too. I'm still surprised. Spam message it. Yeah, exactly. Why not? Just add them on. Yep. Why not? Let's see what happens. Yeah, it worked. It did. It worked. No, not only did it work, it worked a surprisingly large amount of times. I still can't believe it. Well, anyway, so what I'm saying here is that, what do you call it? Average mother and one child, while the average father is two. Well, I'm not sure. I'm not going to get into a whole lot of that. I don't know. I'm just talking about another graph. But what I'm really trying to get at here is that a lot of guys, they see someone like Andrew Tate, and they like what he's saying because it resonates with their current life situation. Like he tells them he's the guy that tells somebody who's been jerking off to fucking anime, sitting there playing video games 12 hours a day. Actually, you are a loser, but it's also women's fault. It's women, it's society. And I think that, yes, you do have some degree of positive action. Again, about working out, being healthy, trying to take things into your own hands, etc. But also I think that people are looking for somebody to blame. They're looking for somebody to blame, and that is such a... It's such an alluring idea that you can find somebody else whose fault it is for everything that you've done wrong. I don't think anyone takes them seriously besides you Twitch streamers. Really? You don't think other people don't take him seriously? Then why do people give him a bunch of money? Why does he make a bunch of... How does he get people signing up for Hustlers University? Well, it's because they do. Yeah, that's why. I don't know if I agree with what Andrew said was misinformation. Extremely common knowledge that it's illegal to beat a woman. Other things you said. Sorry, Mudar is popping out. Oh, yeah. Let me see here. Andrew Tate makes so much sense. Man, what the... Why the... What's wrong with that? He's just chilling. He's just living his life. What's wrong with that? Oh my god. You cannot agree with Andrew Tate, but just banning him on stuff and saying you can't have freedom of speech, lol. Yeah, I think that's important. LGBT is going to indoctrinate kids. Meanwhile, Andrew Tate got them, palm in his hand, molding him to be a piece of shit. Oh my God. Let's see here. People are freaking out about young boys looking up to Andrew Tate, but totally fine with young girls looking up to Cardi B and the Kardashians. That is fair. That is very fair. That's true. Yeah, exactly. I don't know about banning. I was not saying I would deem hateful enough to warrant a ban. I cannot issue a I have not seen everything that he's done. I have not seen every single thing that he has done, so I cannot make that decision. But yes, Cardi B and the Kardashians don't incite violence, and that's what and they don't break the law with the platform. Right. So again, that's the way I feel about the Andrew Tate thing. I know a lot of people have asked me about this. A lot of people have had very strong opinions about this. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'll read a few comments and then we're gonna watch something else, okay? What's this here? What's wrong? Messaging and sharing favorite waifu on the daily couple. Okay. Comparing Cardi B and Andrew Tate to Cardi B as a Tate take. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, what he is saying is that the Kardashians and people like Cardi B and, like, you know, like a lot of popular music reinforces things that are bad. It does. It reinforces things that are bad. Straight up, it's that simple. I don't think that this is an unreasonable thing to say. It's common sense. What's this? All uses platforms should be polled if someone should be banned or not. Oh, I like that. Like the Coliseum. Yeah, that's good. Andrew Tate's just another scam guy who sold the idea of being rich, becoming rich, formation of fatherless, addict, internet young men. I think that's a big part of it. Yeah. It's like saying bad things exist. So him promoting gambling to kids doesn't matter. I don't think that makes sense. Cardi B drug men took their money, KW. I don't know if that happened or not. Like I have no idea. Like I'm not going to again. And also, like, let's say it did happen. Do you understand the difference between somebody committing a crime and somebody using Twitter to commit a crime? So, like, O.J. Simpson, I think he should be able to have a Twitter account. If he starts messaging people some weird stuff, then we have a situation. So using it to commit a crime is very different than having committed a crime in the past and using it in the current while you are not committing any crimes and not doing anything wrong. I think this is common sense. Yeah, it's completely common sense. Tate's literally under investigation for sex trafficking, a crime. Oh, really? So now we should have every single person who's under investigation assumed to be guilty. Well, then why is there an investigation? Have we lost our minds? Yeah, come on, let's think about that. Who said OJ committed the crime? True, brother. True, brother. Yeah. Asmon, please become the new top G. Yeah. It's not under investigation. Charges were dropped due to the fact that the chick was lying. I don't know. All I'm saying is I think that's what the stuff is. Let's see here. I'll read some more and then I want to move on. And Cardi B writes music according to how the public consumes it. If she wrote some wholesome crap, literally no one would listen to it. She stated that she writes what the public wants. Kind of their fault more than hers. She's trying to make money. I don't think that because there's an audience for something, I do it, is a very strong argument for allowing something to occur. I think you can think of many examples that, well, there are people that like this, so I do it. Yes, but it's still bad. Just think about it for 5 seconds. Why you're about things as soon as someone spits facts, you say you don't know? Well, because I'm not arguing that fact. That's why. I'm not arguing that because it has nothing to do with what we're saying. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, if somebody brings something else up, it's obviously this is about it, but I'm not making a statement on that whether or not. Some people like furry porn. Doesn't mean that you should draw it. I agree. I definitely agree. Andrew Tate versus Asmon Tate. Asmon Tate versus Andrew Tate. Honestly, I had to read that 3 times. I could not even barely do that. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a dangerous world that we live in, and I think that too many people are too radicalized and tranquilized to be able to see anything clearly at all. Society is more scared of men because they're generally more dangerous, and why society is more cautious about potentially corrupting influences like Andrew Tate is supposedly. However, girls and women can be corrupted ad infinitum, and apparently nobody minds. Well, that's obviously not true. You know, that's why people want to make abortion illegal, for example, right? Is like they view that as corrupting women and promoting that. So I think that's not true. And also, like, if a girl, I don't know how to make like an analogy for this that would like really make sense. I'd have to think about it a lot. But it is, yes, you're very right. Men commit crime, violent crime, at a rate that is like fucking 10 to 1 more than women. Especially, I think it's probably like 20 or 50 to 1 whenever you talk about violent crime that is fatal. Yeah, men commit way more fucking crime. It's just, those are the fucking numbers. And so anyway, the point that I'm getting at here is that, yes, obviously that is it's a factor. But I think that if you have a girl, like, for example, oh, here's a good example. So, like, remember whenever we had, I forgot who it was, but there was somebody who was, you know, like the glorifying obesity thing. And I shut that down too, because I thought that was bullshit as well. And that was a woman doing it in that case also. So I don't think this is something that's a male and female thing. Yeah, I hated that shit. Yeah, me too, man. Men are victims of violent crime way more than women. Yeah, that's true. It's very true. I think that you're right about that. What's this here? Let me go back and I'll read the rest of this here. And 100% Tate is Bitcoin if Bitcoin is a real person. Okay, I read that. Stop typing it now. Okay, body is fat phobic. Yeah, yeah, people didn't like that one. Oh, well, I mean, I think most people actually agreed with that. Yeah, I think so. Obese people are weird, man, especially when they think it's healthy. Well, I mean, again, all I'm saying is that promoting being okay with being fat, it's like, there are a lot of dumb opinions out there that I don't think that people should get deplatformed for. However, I will say, I think they need to delete the fucking subreddit on Reddit about posting fat cats. Guinness Book of World Records got rid of the listing for the fattest cats because it was encouraging people to overfeed their animals. I don't like this. I'm not a big animal guy. I don't really care a lot about animals. But hurting one for internet points is too much even for me. I don't like it. It's pathetic. Not fat positive. I don't hate myself because I'm fat. Yeah, of course, sure. I mean, I think that's fine. You can be overweight. I mean, again, I think there's a very big difference between acknowledging that being overweight is unhealthy and not a good way to live, and shitting on somebody for being fat. Yeah, definitely. And so, yeah, anyway, I'm glad Andrew got deplatformed for the reasons that he did. I'm torn on free speech should be bannable. I don't think so. I think that that's a very, very dangerous thing to give power to a company to do. That's all it comes down to. Chonker subreddit's so cringe. They don't consider it animal abuse? I mean, I don't. I mean, again, they're disgusting. What else is there to say? Yeah, that's what my opinion is on it. I in general think that there's some truth on both sides of this, and that's the way that I feel about it. So yeah, that's about it. What's your take on the Trump raid, FBI overreach? Well, I don't know. I don't know what the justifiable cause was. Like, we don't, like, the public doesn't have access to all of the information the FBI has access to. So how can we possibly judge whether the Trump raid was legitimate or fair or not? Why is that? Why, like, yeah, am I crazy for that? Like, how, yeah, there was none? How do we know that? No, you don't know that. You just think that. Too early to know. Yeah, I think that if it turns out to be politically motivated, that's very bad. Okay, you happy? I agree with that. You can't judge, you're crazy, you don't know about? Yeah, so, yeah, sure, of course. Are you kidding me, Asmongold? Wait, what do you mean? You're kidding? Which side? As I said, I think that I have the extremists that are upset about it a lot, but FBI agent here, it's true. Yeah, I think that obviously, like, using a government, using a tool of the government to, like, intimidate or, like, basically extort power over somebody else, a political opponent, this is very bad. But I just don't think that we have any evidence or enough evidence to say unequivocally that's what happened. So I'm just waiting to see what happens. That's what my opinion is on it. We'll wait to see what happens. Dude, you're a Republican? Really? I didn't know that. Thank you. Thank you. I'll have to change my voting card. I had no idea. Holy shit! I've got to call the county tomorrow. Oh no. Okay, let's see here. FBI here, we just wanted to check up on Trump, to be honest. Okay, all right. Yeah, so it's fine, guys. Don't worry about it. They're in the chat. Yeah, FBI's in chat. Everything's totally okay. Invite Andrew Tate to Allcraft. Yeah, sure. And what's this here? I'll read some of these. I know people are very opinionated about that. Why did federal body investigation visit Melania's closet? Find out next episode. You're not very clever. Why would they investigate what I would assume is their house that they collectively own? Do you think that... Oh. Well, maybe, like... Well, if I put it in her stuff, well, then the FBI won't be able to get it. Like, what do you think? Why do you think that happened? That's how it... Yeah, that's how a search warrant works. They don't have a search warrant for a certain room in the house. Just use some logic. I know that it's again, it's a very scandalous headline, right? The FBI raids former first ladies, you know, like clothes and like dressers and stuff like that. Yes, it's very scandalous, but let's not be stupid here, okay? So yeah. And actually do very often, yeah. Let's see here. Trump can take files with him. He's allowed to be president, declassify whatever he wants. Trump can take files with him. He's allowed to, as president, to declassify whatever he wants. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't think that's entirely true. I don't think that the president has the ultimate authority without any sort of jurisdiction or authorization to just declassify anything that they want. I have a feeling that's probably not true. But I don't know. And that's what I'm saying. That seems outrageous. If that is true, that's a bad fucking rule. That's a really bad fucking rule. That if you're president, you could just be like, yeah, by the way, everybody knows everything now. All of our national secrets, there it is. That's absolutely true. Yeah, that seems like a really bad fucking rule if that's the case. And dictatorial source, trust me, bro. Exactly. Trump can activate the nukes. Am I wrong in thinking that the military can opt to refuse that command if they believe that the president is not acting in the best interest of the country? I am fairly certain that that is not a he just pushes the button himself. Yes. So that's not true either. Yes, I can. Yeah, there are 3 key... Exactly. Yeah. So... Man, this is why talking about politics and these topics is really... It's really funny for me. Because people are just so... They're so sure about something that is verifiably bullshit. And you can tell that it's bullshit with like 5 seconds of research. But no! Oh no! They already have their mind made up. The facts aren't gonna let them get in the way of their own truth. Holy shit. They only care about their team winning. Something like that. Legal Ela has a good video over the topic. I was actually gonna watch that. I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, sure. It's exactly what the government wants. Part of the vibe. It's all part of the plan. Yeah, sure. Anyway, let's go ahead. I'm gonna look at this. I'll look at the. Okay, we'll look at the most disgusting rooms on Twitch. Okay. Why not? Let's take a look at this. So this was a video that was linked to me, and apparently I'm in the video. I don't know why. The video is called "Most Disgusting Rooms on Twitch."
XQC's room is a mess. It's on LSF. Didn't he just move? It looks like one of those gaming hubs on 4chan back in the day where they used to compete to outgross each other. So there'd be like cum tributes and a lot of like cigarette ashes, old meals, spills, urine and poop stains and shit.
I don't think that's like, I don't remember that. I remember just, it was post, remember the fucking the threads, post your battle station. And I'm pretty sure in my original video, even referred to my setup as a battle station. 1080p. Oh, it does this again. Why does it automatically do this? I don't get it.
Battle stations, that's what it's called. 4chan battle stations. Let's take a peek.
Okay.
This is a cool little piece he's got back here.
It seems... Oh! That's not even a big deal. Like, everybody acts like this is some massive fucking problem. That's probably only like a week of garbage, number one. Number two, it's all in the same place on the floor. You could clean that up in 5 minutes. Less.
It's a beaut.
It's totally fine.
I love streaming from a dumpster.
Holy fuck, man.
It's not a dumpster, it's just that part of the room is where the trash goes.
Wow. He makes it sound like it's not him that did it. It's like, wow, a burglar came in and left all of his McDonald's bags on the floor.
Yeah, man, this is messed up,
Bro,
huh?
I can't believe this.
It's right, yeah.
Does he like black out when he's eating McDonald's and forget that he throws it on the floor, so he's always surprised that it's there in the morning? Like, how does that happen? Like, he seems as surprised as I am.
Yeah, I've had that happen.
Like, he just disassociates the second he has a Filet-O-Fish. Eyes roll in the back of his head. Just starts littering.
No, it's like, I've had this happen, like, in Wendy's. You go to Wendy's and you eat all, you go down, and, like, I'll lay down on the floor over there and eat Wendy's. And then I'll pass out on the floor after I eat, like, all my fries and nuggets. And then I'll wake up and I'll forget that I went to Wendy's. But then I'll remember that I went to Wendy's. And then whenever I remember that I went to Wendy's, I'll remember that I got a small chili at Wendy's. And since they usually serve those at, like, molten hot temperatures, it's still warm and I can eat it after I woke up. So, like, it's actually not that outrageous what he's saying.
So it's not his whole room, it's just one spot.
Yeah, exactly. It's one small part. It's not even that
like,
bad.
It actually seems like the room itself is somewhat kempt.
Yeah.
Like, there's even a giant projector here.
Exactly, it's totally fine.
And there's this, like, Allspark or Tesseract. I don't really know what this apparatus is, but that's pretty cool. It's just his area. Like, he came in here like this tornado of filth and just vandalized one spot in particular.
That's all. Yeah, everything else is totally
clean. What's the point in cleaning? It's just gonna get dirty again.
Exactly.
You know, as the Power Rangers say.
To be fair, my room is still pretty clean. Like, I will say, the only reason why I cleaned up my room is that I was just always fucking annoyed with there being garbage everywhere. It was fucking annoying. Like, that's it. Show us? Okay. Give me a minute. Let me go ahead and I'm gonna just do a zoom out, alright? There are some drinks on this side, and that's it. Give me 1 second. Here we go. The entire room is clean. Let me show you. Full cam. The whole room is clean. There are some drinks over here. This is literally like 2 days worth of drinks. 2 days worth of drinks. That's food from a night ago. And that's it. Everything else, totally fucking clean. Yeah, I think that's... I feel like that is very, very fucking clean. Wendy's bag? That's because I went to Wendy's today. I was eating my food whenever I started to stream. Yes, there's a Wendy's bag because I went to Wendy's today. What are we gonna act like this is? What are you guys, too good to go to Wendy's now? Get the fuck out of here. You're not. All right, here we go. Yeah, there's no reason like I keep it clean other than it's just fucking annoying if things are dirty.
That wasn't as bad as I would have
No.
expected, to be
No.
honest. Like, it doesn't seem like there's many spills. Just like a little Coke here. Here, let me go back in.
I wonder if he's gonna look
Yeah,
at
so
my
just like a
old
little
one.
Coke stain there. Is there any other
There's
like
nothing.
big
It's nothing, man.
sticky areas? No.
Nothing.
So it looks like he just has like a drink corner and then an everything else heap.
Yeah.
Is this all from the same place? I don't think so. This is McDonald's up here, and this is Score?
I don't know what that is.
Scores? I don't know that spot.
I think some of these are. I think that bag
Asmon
is
vibes? Does
Chipotle
Asmon have a
bag.
disgusting room as
Oh
well?
fuck! Here we
It's
go.
just so yucky. Like, that's inviting so
Oh,
many
fuck.
bugs
All
and
right,
shit.
all right,
Like, I
here
already
we go.
freak out because of little fruit flies.
Here we go.
This is just inviting the unknown. Like opening a portal to hell.
Oh, it's
Doesn't he have a bin? Well, I'm sure there's a garbage can. Oh, in fact, I think it's right here. It's just... It's working overtime.
Bro,
It's at capacity.
I'm telling you, like, you could clean that up in like 2 minutes. 2 to 5 minutes, that shit could be cleaned up.
It's doing all it can just to stay alive. It's fighting for its fucking life. He's only been there for 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, a lot of people see trash. I see a story. I can I can basically
Yeah.
carbon date's the wrong word. I can like track his calories through his trash here. Like I can see what he, how his digestion's probably going. Yeah, it tells a tale, It's got personality.
Let's see.
There, let me see Asmon's room.
Oh, all right.
But like I said, I expected that to be worth.
Look,
See Asmon's room.
it automatically fucking... It auto-completes. The first fucking option. Look at the suggestions right there. It's not even hiding it. There's 2 of them. That's how bad it was.
But like I said, I expected that to be worse than with the way people hyped it up.
Yeah,
But maybe it will be in a
blowing
month. We
things
can do
out
a
of
checkup.
proportion.
Asmongold's lair. Wow, this looks awful. Oh my god, this looks bad. This actually looks so much worse. I feel like I'm looking into like a gas station's dumpster. Like, this just looks like a dirty diaper up there.
Exaggerate things, make things
Oh no.
more than what they are.
Alright, so immediately this is more chaotic. Like this, at least XQC was localized to like one, like, cataclysmic area. This is just like an actual apocalypse in this room. It is everywhere.
And that's true.
To be fair, things were pretty clean on the floor. Like, yeah, there was stuff on the floor, but we had that, like, that's the Super Nintendo. Like, we play the Super Nintendo all the time. I still use that power supply there. That was one of my beds. I got this from a couch that we got for free, and we couldn't fit it up the stairs, and so I just took the sofa mattress out of it, and I was like, okay, well, we're just gonna use this.
Bed.
Whoa! Wait, what?
What?
There's a bed there?
What do you mean? The bed is right there. That is the bed. That's the bed. It was a great bed. Izzy made me throw it away. I'm still mad. It would still be there. She said she said, you don't want, like, she was like, oh, well, because I thought it was cool. Because, like, everyone would go over to my house, and then, like, people would get drunk as fuck, and they'd pass out on the floor, right? This is what would happen. So I thought, why don't we make it to where the whole floor is a bed? And that way, people can pass out, and they can fall asleep, and it'll be fine. It was genius, yeah. Yeah, people get drunk, and like, because sometimes people sleep in the bathtub, but that's usually not what would happen. It would be upstairs. That's actually smart as fuck. Yeah, and she just decided, she's like, I don't give a fuck about that. Like, you getting rid of that fucking sofa mattress. Get that the fuck out of the house. And I put that, I got rid of it, man.
You don't, no sheets? Nothing?
I did not know that you had to change your sheets until she, like, first moved in with me. So, like, she comes to visit, and she looks at my bed, and she's like, when did you last change your sheets? And I said, I was like, what do you mean? She's like, when did you change your sheets? I'm like, well, what do you mean? I don't have sheets. I just have I have my, you know, the blanket right there. That's actually Cody's blanket. But I, like, you know, like that was it. I never had changed my sheets ever. Like, ever. No, I'm not trolling. Like, your parents didn't teach that? No, it's fine. And she didn't, like, I remember she made me go, like, we had to go to Walmart that night. We had to go to Walmart that night. She would not tolerate that behavior. And yeah, I had to get new sheets that day, man. That's it.
It's just a raw mattress?
Yeah.
Or maybe these are the sheets. I don't know. That's like,
no, there's no sheets.
That's some old lady wallpaper kind of sheets.
No, I don't have any sheets. No sheets.
Bed.
You just get a
No
blanket.
frame.
Wendy's.
Why would I have a frame?
Oh, now we're fucking cooking. So, this isn't
What?
like an XQC level thing. So, his
What?
vice seems to be drinks. XQC only had a few drinks on the desk. Asmon's is entirely drinks.
Well, that's because all the garbage is on the floor.
This shit is everywhere. Look at this phone. Wow. Even in 2010, this was like 50 years old.
Just
That
put it
must
out
just
there
be a
'cause it's
prop,
funny.
right? Or maybe it's like the Powerpuff Girls hotline.
No, it was like we memed about it. Like that phone's only used to call the president. Like that's what we mean. But like my mom used to actually use that phone. That was straight. I still have it. I never got rid of it.
And Asmon can just dial up the nearby McDonald's for a free Coke or something if he pushes the red button.
I wish.
Yeah, so this one is, I think this one is absolutely worse.
Desk. There you go. And this is the one from today.
There's absolutely urine in some of these cups, no doubt.
I've never pissed in a cup before. And my mom preemptively told us whenever I moved up to that room, you cannot piss out the window. She said you can do anything you want up there. You can do drugs up there. You can drink up there. But you cannot piss out the window. Do not piss out the window. And to be fair, nobody ever pissed out the window. Not a single time. Nobody ever pissed out the window.
That was good. And then
Why so many Cokes?
Well, you get one. The thing is, the reason why is like you get up and then you get one whenever you get food, whenever you get up. And then at night, you get one again. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much why.
here.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a root beer in there. I saw a root beer.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Not Magic
Oh,
Cards,
no. I would get
Some
different
pink
stuff.
lemonade.
Oh, nice.
That
Spittoon.
get a better look at that. That's molded over Coke.
Oh, good.
That's
Why-
that's
why not?
molded over Coke.
Delicious.
Why not have that
This
on the
one's
desk?
one of my favorites here. I don't even know.
So like I was running out of room.
Why not?
Molded over Coke.
Why not have that?
I was running out of room on the desk. So I would pour the drinks into the previous drinks. And that's why it's like a weird concoction there. Is because that's like 5 or 6 drinks put together.
This one's one of my favorites here. I don't even know how long this has been here.
Yeah.
Wow. Yum.
That's just disgusting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how they
then we
discovered
have-
penicillin. I just don't get the thought process. So he actively recognizes the mold and the filth and the grossness of it, obviously. But like it's totally within his power right now to just be like, I'll throw one of these away. I'll take one of these out of my collection and throw it away. This is a little too moldy.
Yeah.
And then just walk 5 feet to a trash can.
Well, it wasn't 5 feet. Well, actually it was, because we used to throw everything just out the window. We just threw all the garbage, all the trash out the window. Straight up, like open the window, throw the garbage out the window. The city, I had to clean it up. Apparently, it was so bad that my neighbor couldn't sell his house. Because people would come over and they would be like, what's going on next door? And so I hated my neighbor. But I thought to myself, well, I hate my neighbor. Well, I want him to leave. So I cleaned it up. Yeah. And then he was able to sell the house. He was trying to leave too. Yeah, I was like, I don't want him here anymore. So I cleaned it up. Yeah, I cleaned it up that day. They probably thought you were a crackhead. Yeah.
There's a more recent example. Alright, we're gonna travel through time. Oh, what is this on the floor? Are these stains or are these coins?
Those are coins. We used
Played
to
so much World of Warcraft.
we used to well basically so okay, all right. So like if you get a drink at McDonald's, it was $1.08 because it was $1 and then there was sales tax. So what does that mean? That means that you get a lot of change because you're going to pay with it with $2 bills. And so where does the change go? Well, I mean, some of it just ends up on the floor. Now it's, yeah, now pre-inflation, now it's $1.79.
He bought like actual gold pieces in real life and just scattered them on the floor to find.
No.
What are these? These like black spots. They are stains? No, they're definitely not cockroaches. I've seen so many cockroaches, I could identify those things from a mile away. It could be like rabbit shit, because Miz had that all over his room and it looked kind of like this. Did Asmongold ever own a rabbit?
No, I never did.
Alright, we're just gonna go in order, so 4 years now. Why the DMCA music, man? I love Owl City as much as the next guy, but why here?
Okay.
This one seems more organized. Like he's even got them like color coded. He's got the Dr. Peppers together.
Yeah.
The Rogue root beer hanging off to the side. A1 steak sauce kind of looming in the background just in case things get crazy. Man, he even just leaves the forks in these bowls.
Yeah.
How the fuck does he not run out of silverware? Because this is not plastic. I can.
So the way that we did that is I just bought new forks and now I only use plastic silverware. The only time I don't use plastic silverware is whenever I eat steaks. That's how.
Immediately tell this is metal, or at least it looks like it.
Yeah, they were metal.
No, it's definitely just like a metal fork. So he just replaces his silverware instead of clean it.
Yeah, I did that. My mom got
You're
mad at
showing
me.
one spot. Why so much A1 steak sauce?
It's where I kind of like put everything
Oh,
together.
This is a
like my
drastic
camera
improvement.
setup and all
Yeah.
that. I pretty much put it together in this PC and beyond. If I get ever,
I
get-
think
Like this is just clutter. It's not filth
Yeah,
anymore.
it
It's
was
just straight
fine.
up clutter.
like whenever I posted this, everybody was talking shit. It was completely fucking fine. And for us, yeah, dude, my mom was like, dude, she was into Alex Jones. Like, I'm talking about, like, she was watching him. We were in Austin, Texas. She was watching him on the public access channel. So, yeah, I still have it. It's over there behind me.
So like no drinks on the gaming setup here.
Yep.
No bags of food.
Yeah, it was completely clean.
It's just straight up clutter.
Yeah, that's all.
So this one's not even bad. That one just looks more like a hoarder's house as opposed to like a crusty battle station. Yeah, so it's really, like, he cleaned it up.
Yeah.
12 years ago, disgusting.
Ah,
Modern, passable.
Exactly. Yeah, thank you.
Again, just kind of like
Thank
a
you.
hoarder's
Yeah,
facility.
exactly.
Because he's just got shit all over the place, but it's not filth.
No, it's just
Like,
garbage.
it looks like he gets rid of the mold hazards. So he throws out the food.
Well, the problem why I have to get rid of them is I run out of space on the desk. So, like, the reason why I didn't have to get rid of the moldy stuff beforehand is that I could just make more space on the desk. But I run out of space faster, so I have to get rid of it.
Drinks.
It's not even like I feel like this was not even remotely as bad as people made it out to be. I think that everybody was being, this was not as bad. Showroom, I just did at the beginning of the video. There's the video. It's from Charlie. We all know Charlie. There it is. So look at this. In fact, he can hire someone to clean his room and doesn't. Yeah, the thing is that I don't know how people can live in such filth. They're millionaires too. They have the power to hire a clean lady. My room is clean now, okay? It is clean. Asmongold is a genius. He doesn't need to clean his room. By leaving the garbage as it sits, it eventually evolves and gains sentience, thus realizing the errors of the past and begins to organize itself into a more sustainable existence. As seen in the second video, they begin to categorize the various types of wastes and implement strategies to combat the filth once their ruler ruled the world, making way for the utopia that is to come. But we all know that all empires eventually fall and succumb to self-destruction and thus return to the degenerate muck from whence it came, only to repeat the cycle. That's actually the plot for Dark Souls 4. Yeah. I'm surprised that this person saw the same leak I did. That's crazy. So yeah, I mean, just in general, look, it is what it is, okay? Yeah, it is what it is. The age of the mold lord. There you go. Should do an OTK livestream event to clean your rooms. Yeah, I know. I think that my room is clean, so I'm not worried about it at all. Yeah, I'm not worried about it one bit. Let's see here. Asmongold's actually doing his best to improve himself now. Yeah, I cleaned up my room. My shit's clean. It's good. I need to get a plumber to come to my house to like fix the pipes in my kitchen, because one of the parts of my sink doesn't work, and so the pipes are they're clogged up, and so I'm not even going to explain what it's like. Yeah, I'm not even going to explain what it's like. It's just problematic. When was the last sheet change? Probably the last time Izzy visited. I've never changed my sheets since then. Yeah. MMO means nothing anymore. I want to watch this. I'm kind of interested to see what this is. Black Book 1, new trailer's out. Let me watch this too, okay? As he says, yes, no mere mortal can live with Asmongold. That's right. Why even change your sheets, to be honest? I didn't understand it. Like, I'm not pissing on my bed. Like, I'm clean. I never sweat. I think that my sheets are clean. I haven't changed them in a while, but they're probably still clean. Here we go. Dead skin? My skin doesn't die. That's other people. Let's see this. Oh wow!
Times are changing.
He's got a
We
new
might
intro.
be at risk of losing something, and I think that might be why Ashes of Creation is something people really want. So,
Yeah.
does this look like an MMO to you? How about this? Or this? Hell, this is a bit out there, but what about this game?
Oh,
Well,
I've heard of
apparently
that
they're
one.
all considered MMOs. And which of these do you play? In fact,
I don't think anybody considers Path of Exile an MMO. I don't think anybody considers Diablo Immortal an MMO either.
what parts of these games actually matter to you? Because, spoiler, the whole thing's changed. Soulframe is a new MMORPG, recently announced with an evocative cinematic that promises a beautiful fantasy world.
Bro, I'm gonna watch that after this. Remember me to watch that after this. We're gonna look at it.
And one that's definitely very different to the existing MMO lineup. People are pumped as hell about it, despite it being super early. And rightfully so. It comes from a renowned developer who's been running a game, mostly successfully, for over 9 years.
Imagine that.
The clue is in the title. It's the people behind Warframe, Digital Extremes. The weird part is that it seems like a departure. Warframe itself is hardly an MMO. It's mostly a hallway murder sim with an insanely grindy loot loop.
Okay.
Or is it? For the first 4 years, it was solely a lobby-based instanced game, but then they made big instances, landscapes,
badass.
support up to 50 players, and
That's really
generally they had more and more open-world content added, but for the most part, it's a small group content game at its core with some player hubs. Maybe it's earned the MMO subtag, but it's still a far cry from what you would expect of that label given the past. And that sparked a question that we should explore. What defines an MMO? We could argue about the...
I think it's just as simple as this. MMORPG, most games are massively multiplayer and online. Like, whether it's Tower of Fantasy, Diablo Immortal, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, or Path of Exile, they are massively multiplayer and they are online. I think that people like the idea of playing a game that is a shared online space alongside other people. That doesn't mean that they want to have to group to do every quest. That doesn't mean that they might ever even want to group with anyone ever. But they like being in that online virtual space. And I think that's what's so good. I think that's a good thing. It's a great thing.
Literal definition of massively multiplayer online or role-playing game, but that boils down to semantics, and let's be real, we all know the term RPG has been just about ruined over the last 20 years.
That's true, yes.
So what we really have to deal with is reality.
Okay.
r/MMORPG, as an example, has this list of MMO subreddits. These are MMOs. I think we can all agree in that. But it also has a list of MMO likes, which they explain as having MMO-like qualities, whatever that means, and they even point out that...
Yeah, I would honestly, I would categorize Diablo Immortal as an MMO-like game. What do you guys think? Like, I wouldn't even say that, like, Tower of Fantasy is a full MMO game. I would say even Tower of Fantasy is like, yeah, sure.
And the sub voted, 60% thought that Destiny was an MMO. There are a lot of players playing, even though you can only play with a few at a time. You can see plenty in the world, and it's got numbers in it that I guess you grind to go up. MMORPG it is. Even Anthem would debatably fall under the same category, but almost nobody called it one. And if Destiny is an MMORPG, then surely so too is Warframe. But that puts these games at odds with classic MMOs. Dark Age of Camelot, EverQuest, WoW, Guild Wars 2, EVE, RuneScape, ESO. The classic MMO being largely indicated by being set in a shared world and players going about their business alone or in groups. But either way, they were always interacting with each other. You could have
I think that a lot of people played WoW like a single-player game 95% of the time. I know that's what my mom did. Like, she was in a guild and nobody would ever talk to her in the guild because they knew that she didn't want to talk to them. She was just in the guild for the perks, and this was a purely transactional relationship, and there was nothing more to it than that. And so they left her alone, she left them alone, everything was fine, GM took a break. Guild leader transferred over to her. She kicked everybody out of the guild and took the guild back. It is what it is.
Conversation. You could go on quests together, trade items, duel, the works.
Yeah.
The massively multiplayer part didn't come from the player count, but a vibe that you could do this with everyone.
Yeah.
Basically like showing up to a town and seeing a whole bunch of people with different roles in life. Some
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think that back then, MMO is kind of a dated term. Because, like, MMO in itself meant something and it was valuable back in, like, 2005. But now, because everybody has the technology, MMO is just okay. Every game is an MMO to an extent.
recognize from before, some you might be inspired by because of whatever title or items they have, and then a healthy dose of strangers who may just be friends that you haven't met yet. They were focused often on being sandboxes with just enough toys for players to be able to build their very own virtual lives. But as focusing on gameplay systems got more important for developers, for a vast number of reasons, content started to become king over building a good sandbox where really the players via their interactions build the content themselves. So the prospect of a theme park MMO came to power, and we woke up one day and realized that the MMO market looked substantially different. Could you say that the Destiny-like experiences are just theme park MMOs with the inefficient bits polished out?
Yes.
Who knows?
In a lot of
As
ways.
action, combat, and tight progression loops became more and more prevalent, the staples of sandboxes and player interaction kind of sprout.
I think people like the sandbox, though. Like, I feel like even sandbox MMOs are designed to encourage people to do certain things. Like, I think that sandbox is like whenever you can't tell what they're encouraging you to do as strongly.
Put it up elsewhere in new forms. Because now if you want a social sandbox, you'd go and play a less massive survival game like DayZ, Rust, or H1Z1, or something old like OSRS. As Andrew Ross wrote for Engadget in an article calling the genre survival MMOs, quote, "I love MMOs."
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a good way to look at Rust. Like, I hope that the Blizzard survival game, remember whenever the announcement for that came out and we haven't heard anything else since then? I remember whenever that happened, that's what I hope that it's like. I hope that it's almost like, you know, Rust, Valheim, something like that.
But recent theme parks and building games have left me wanting something a bit more dangerous, but still not a pointless murder fest.
Yeah.
To him, the MMO had lost its teeth, that sense of danger and realness that World PvP brought, and people definitely love that short-term social cooperation or antagonism that survival games bring. You can have some of the most fantastic and unique stories as a result of their sandboxes. Sure, their type of quest doesn't have the same D&D-like flavor of some of the MMOs, but it is quite a similar experience in many ways. MMO became a...
I will say that, like, I have more and, like, stronger memories of doing different activities in Rust that effectively were a quest. I have stronger memories of that than I do from leveling in the recent WoW expansions. Much more so. And I remember it much more fondly.
Umbrella term for whatever had servers and players, but it stopped communicating really anything else.
That's not the goal.
Even Final Fantasy XIV had to fight off some of the MMO assumptions when it came to story. When Shadowbringers was being called the best JRPG story in a decade, it notably had the caveat, yes, we know it's an MMO, but seriously, we mean it. To get to the actual game that sparked this video, though, will Soulframe itself actually be an MMO?
We'll see.
Now, according to the developers, it's a free-to-play open-world adventure that is heavily influenced by themes of nature, restoration, and exploration.
I think it's really important if you have an open world game that anybody can interact with anybody out in the world. I think that is just so important. Like, you might need channels, like, you know, like how a lot of games have channels, but I hope there's no servers. Like, I don't want any servers on the game. I want it to be, You log on to the game, you can play with anybody.
It's focused on melee compared to Warframe's shooting, and it's going to be slow and heavy instead of crazy high speed. It's also going to share Warframe's focus on co-op PvE, and in fact, here's a quote, "It still has a lot of similarities to the genre they have experience in, but a greater focus on exploration." So it certainly seems like
I don't know if any game's really gonna nail exploration. I feel like exploration is like a, you're chasing a dragon that doesn't exist. Oh yeah, we want people to explore things. It's like, meanwhile, they're on the other monitor as YouTube, and it's like, you know, the 75 points of interest inside of X or Y video game, and this is the most hyper-optimized route to reach all 4 of them, or all 75 of them, in 3.7 hours.
It'll be more of an MMO than Warframe, but whether or not that exploration means spending hundreds of hours in a shared world like old school MMOs, or just doing some fun open world content between instanced gameplay sessions like Lost Ark, well, we'll have
I think, like, for example, like Lost Ark has no real exploration type content. Like, it's not really, like, maybe going to like a couple of the islands is kind of cool, but like other than that, that's just not what the game's really built around.
Wait and see. Honestly, the point of this was just a thought that arose. What the hell is an MMO today? We have a sense of tribalism and community that comes from being an MMO player, but that term is almost worthless in a genre that has become far more broad. Take the news of Tower of Fantasy and Throne and Liberty there recently.
We need to watch
They're both
that.
called MMORPGs, but you absolutely have no idea how they're going to play until you watch the gameplay trailer, and even that doesn't always help.
No, it
Take
doesn't.
Tower of Fantasy, it's basically a more involved Genshin Impact, but in a shared world with global world bosses
totally
and
different.
content, and of course, plenty of gacha. Throne and Liberty, given its length of development, does
Totally
look
different,
more
guys.
like an older MMO with some more modern sensibilities.
Yes, Throne and Liberty, it does look very cool. Like, all of these games, I'll play all of these games. Because I want to see, I think with almost every game, there are really cool things that exist inside the game that have value. They're unique and fun to do. Like, I'm down to play these new games. And it's like kind of like, I view it as like a tool belt. And the more things I know and the more games I've played, the more tools I have.
A massive amount of players doing stuff together, hard group PvE, open world PvP, exploration with others, and all of that. But of course, with modern visuals and action combat.
Yeah, we'll see how
Both games
that
look great
goes.
enough, and they're both clearly MMOs in the literal sense. But there was a heavy moment of doubt before actually checking them out to see if they would fit the bill. Basically, nowadays calling something an MMO is really not that useful whatsoever because the entire industry has attempted to move to that direction, and I think there's many reasons why. A lot of them are obvious to us. Of course, when someone says MMO, you'll probably...
I think one of the big reasons why it's good to have an open world for the developers is that having an open world creates an economy around looking cooler than somebody else and like having cool things to show off. So, like, you can get people to be more motivated to farm cosmetic items, and you can also get people to be more motivated to buy cosmetic items. Like, I think this is a big thing in PoE that they don't utilize enough. Like, I think it's really cool at the beginning of the league, and you see everybody there in, like, the Act 1, like, on the beach. And like, back in the day, you'd see, like, maybe a handful of other people in Oriath. Like, I thought that was badass, and I hope that in PoE 2, there's, like, open world areas, not like open world game, but like an open world city or something like that, where, like, you can go and inspect other people and see what kind of gear they have and shit. I think that'd be really cool.
You think of something that asks
I'd
for a
love
hell of
that.
a lot of time and has a gearing or item level loop, which brings us to a very fun exploration. So here are 4 games that range from considered an MMO to marketing calls it an MMO but nobody else does to no one would dare call this an MMO but they could sort of get away with it. So first, Lost Ark. no one would challenge the categorization. MMO players play it, MMO websites and channels cover it.
I think that what people really define as an MMO is a game that has end-game PvE content or some sort of large group content that it is required to do if you want to reach the highest level possible in that game. I think that is what really, in people's mind, is a differentiator between something being an MMORPG and what's not. So, like, for example, in Lost Ark, you have the Legion raids. So that's why it's an MMO, is because you need to do the Legion raids, and you have to group up with people to do the Legion raids.
And you spend a large
I think that's what
portion
it is
of
in
the
the
game
eyes of people.
running around a shared world, doing stuff with other players. But the major focus and main point of the game is the grinding loop of instanced content, 4 to 8 players, which is far from massively, and brings it closer to something like Destiny in reality. And remember, only 60% of the votes in that poll thought Destiny was an MMO. But clearly something has changed, because everyone is happy to call Lost Ark 1.
Yeah.
Then there's Diablo Immortal. It's actually not that far removed from Lost Ark, right? I mean, it borrows heavily.
No, it's actually not. There are bosses in Diablo Immortal that you need a group for. You could make if somebody wanted to make the argument that Diablo Immortal was an MMO, I wouldn't fight with them. I would be like, it's not as much of an MMO as like WoW or like Final Fantasy, but like, yeah, sure. Yeah, okay, that's fine with me.
With it from things like the Heliquary, Platinum, and seeing other players do their business in the world around you. I don't know about you, but despite it seemingly qualifying as an MMO, it feels just a little bit off to call it one, right? It just doesn't have the vibe.
Yeah.
Maybe that's because it's a Diablo game,
yeah,
and
that's what
they
I
are
was gonna
just
say. Yeah,
not called MMOs by most. It's weird. Blizzard call it an MMO, but I basically have never heard another person say Diablo Immortal is an MMO.
That's not true, for me at least. Remember that guy Rax, the guy who helps run Zackrawrr, and he quit Diablo Immortal? And he was talking about how his experience in the beta of Diablo Immortal was very akin to what an MMO was like, and that's why he enjoyed it so much. Rax. Yeah. So that's not entirely true in my circumstances. But I watched a lot of content about the game, too.
Now, the obvious link from Immortal is Path of Exile. If Immortal qualifies as an MMO because Lost Ark qualifies as an MMO...
Well, I think that's not true. Because, for example, there is no challenge in Path of Exile that you can't do solo. Like Uber Elder, Uber Super Mega Ultimate Cirrus. They are all doable by a single player. With Diablo Immortal, like Gorgotha, I'm pretty sure that's what its name is, you need a group for that. And like for a lot of the other missions and like dungeons, you need a group for that. I think that's what the clear difference is. So I think that I don't think the two games are the same at all.
And Path of Exile should 99% qualify too.
No.
You've got global chat, you see other players in the shared hubs, and you don't really interact that much with them, and you don't actually see them in the gameplay areas. You do content alone or in a small group, but you do exist in a shared community, and you get those social interactions in the hubs. It's a minuscule...
You did, but like everybody's sequestered into their own hideout. I think hideouts are good, but I wish that there were more reasons to go to the open areas. Like, I think that would be cooler, personally.
Enough difference, and it's one that doesn't really feel like it matters. But thankfully, we've actually got a lot of words from the developers about why they hate being called an MMO, even before the game launched. This 2,400-word forum post basically boils down to, Path of Exile is not an MMORPG, it's an online action RPG. Saying they want to be distanced from the MMORPG term, applying of course to WoW clones at the time, and saying it would be a major technical risk to make the game support more players per area and require more players as a result of that.
Yeah, I think that's probably why. I mean, I don't think that PoE should become an MMO. Like, I don't think Path of Exile should, like, add in bosses that you need 4 people to kill. I don't think that's what they should do, ever. Like, that's not what the game is. But I do think that it's not unreasonable to think that it would be really cool if we had, like, a main city that everybody could go to. Like, that would be really cool.
There are also tidbits about instances allowing randomness that Chris Wilson, the lead at Grinding Gear Games who wrote the post, actually reiterated almost 12 years later, just a few weeks ago, when he was talking to Josh Strife Hayes.
Probably watch this at some
Basically, being a traditional MMO limited them too much, so they decided not to be one. Although it's worth noting that Chris didn't object to Josh calling Path of Exile an MMO in that interview, so maybe they're happier with it now.
Well, I think that, I mean, if you listen to, like, what he said in the post, the main reason why he said he didn't like being called an MMO is because it's like conflating the game with World of Warcraft. And I think also that the term has evolved over the years.
And maybe that's because the definition has changed. What's accepted to be an MMO has changed.
Look at that.
The takeaway here is it isn't an MMO, but it falls under the same blanket now that the genre is different.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's less about genre and it's more about potential player base. Now, our final example might raise some eyebrows, but I'm doing
I
this to
haven't
make
played
a point.
Monster Hunter. I can't really speak
Monster
on this
Hunter
one.
is basically a tiny step away from this modern definition of an MMO. There's no shared world, it's session-based only, but it has every other bit of what a action MMO sort of gameplay thing would be.
What is that?
Instanced, session-based boss battles that are solo or multiplayer, allowing a long-tail progression with regular live updates and crafted gear loops that last for months. The only thing it's missing to fit with Destiny and Warframe
like a
is
shared
just a shared
space.
hub where you
Yeah,
see other
yeah.
players, and I guess there, slap it on now, we call
That's
it
a
an MMO.
huge thing.
And the question I want to ask you today is, does that really matter?
Yeah.
When the MMO genre has largely became about the flavor of PvE or PvP content and a satisfying gearing loop to keep
Yeah, it does
playing,
matter.
does the massively part actually matter when you are playing the game? And that's the thing.
Yeah, it does. The reason why it matters is the same reason why people care about if Valorant or Counter-Strike is more popular than the other. People want to play the game that everybody else is playing, and I think that the hype of a game at the very beginning is also kind of what makes it fun. It's like back in the day whenever you were playing WoW and you'd log on and everybody was like, oh shit, you know, like we have 9 million subs in WoW now, 10 million subs in WoW. Everybody's talking about it. You feel like you are in the place that you need to be. You are in the eye of the storm of what is happening now. And I think that people want to be in that. They want to be doing what everybody else is doing. They want to be accomplishing something that has a widespread value. It's like getting Challenger in League of Legends has much more value to people than getting whatever the fuck the equivalent of is it in Heroes of the Storm. It's because everybody knows about League. People care about League. League is like an important, super popular game. Nobody gives a fuck about Heroes of the Storm. So the accomplishments that you have don't mean as much. That's
Even
why.
look at World of Warcraft. In
That's a big
modern
reason.
days, World of Warcraft has become less of an MMO, more, as Chris would put it, of an online action role-playing game. Because so much of what you do in WoW, ultimately for so many of its players, involves session-based, instanced combat.
It's always been like that.
So I think that the MMO term has become basically useless. And for you, presumably you're an MMO player,
yeah.
I think that means it's worth thinking about what part of the MMO genre you actually like. And maybe us working out how to describe it in a different way so that when we say MMO or whatever the replacement is, it actually refers to the sorts
I
of...
like all of it. I love games like Path of Exile. I like the shared world aspect of Diablo Immortal whenever people weren't stealing my mobs. I like classic WoW. It was really fun. It was cool whenever I wasn't getting chased by fucking 5 different stream snipers. It was great. Classic WoW had a great open world. Also, Rust. I thought Rust was amazing too. I loved it so much. It was so much fun for me. So I don't think that there has to be one or the other. It's just, you know, there's different, you know, like some days you get into one thing, like you play one game and then like you hit a plateau in that and you go play something else.
games that we want to play. And that's why I mentioned Ashes of Creation at the very top of this video. I think it's the sort of MMO that right now the MMO label isn't particularly covering for that many people.
No, it's not.
I think that's why they are so goddamn excited. So yeah, what do you think? Is the MMO genre label still useful to you? Or has it become something different? Has what the modern market makes become something different?
I feel like if somebody calls something an MMORPG, it's probably going to have a lot of the features that I like, even though it's definitely been watered down by a massively substantial level.
Different. Would you rather create your own fun in a big shared world with other players? Or
yes.
Would you rather a more Destiny-like experience or a WoW Mythic Plus-like experience where, yeah, sure, there's a big world or whatever, but kind of here for my gameplay and my gearing loop, don't...
You need to have instance content. You can either have challenging content or instance content. Or sorry, you can either have easy content or instance content. Because any boss that you have in the open world, oh, he's designed for 10 people? Well, we bring 20. Okay, he's not that hard now, huh? Yeah, wow, look at that. And if you add in, like, these different types of, like, crowd control mechanics, where it just, like, kills everybody after the first 10 people that engage him or something like that, then you run into a whole other problem with griefing. So, scaling per player. Then you have more griefing. And then also there are certain types of scaling. So like, oh, well, he scales his health, but he doesn't scale his damage. So we bring 10 fucking healers and nobody ever dies. It just takes longer. Trust me, if there is a way, if the boss is in the open world, people will fucking exploit the shit out of it. Like, I remember we did the same thing with Classic WoW. Classic WoW, the dragons, to be fair, actually were pretty good for world bosses that were hard to overgear. But they weren't perfect, and people still fucking did it.
Care about that other stuff. I think it's a little bit more of a subculture around MMO players, and I think that's honestly where a lot of drama and disagreement comes from. From mixed expectations.
Yeah.
A breakdown of communication.
I think a lot of drama just comes from the fact that the games come out and they're bad, or they're like a cash grab, or they have like shitty monetization or something like that. Like that's why that's why people are pissed off. Like it's not about the name, it's about the game.
Because the meaning of MMO is broken down. Food for thought. Anyway, we have more videos on this
I like
channel
this
coming
video a
up
lot.
ASAP covering some games that you'll expect.
Are you against battle
Maybe even a
passes?
few games
No,
that
I'm
you
not
won't
against
expect.
battle
So
passes.
Stay tuned and let me know, what the hell does MMO even mean to you?
Yes. I understand, like, this has been, like, a big thing. People have been mad about battle passes. I'm okay with the Diablo 4 battle pass. Yes, I am totally fucking fine with the Diablo 4 battle pass. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. That's Soulframe? Yeah, we'll look at Soulframe. Give me a second. That's a video right there. It's a Bellier video. We watch all of his videos. They're fucking great. So make sure to watch that. I'll talk about this just for a second. Yeah, I don't think that there's anything wrong with a battle pass fundamentally. I think some people don't like certain types of battle passes, and I can see why. But with the Diablo 4 battle pass and the way that they've stated it, if the game it comes out in the way that they said that it will, which again, we'll see if that happens, there's nothing wrong with it. People don't like FOMO? Oh, people don't like FOMO? There's FOMO in every single game. It's just that some games do a better job at hiding it so dumb people don't see it. Every game has FOMO. Like, I don't want to hear it. What the hell is FOMO? People don't like the idea that there are limited rewards in the game that you can only obtain by at certain times. They want everything to be obtainable at all times without any restrictions. Basically. PoE just added FOMO today. Everything is fucking FOMO. Like, that's just... Like, FOMO is, like, the most basic marketing technique that you can have. Of course they're going to use FOMO. Every other company uses FOMO. Obviously, this is going to happen. And do you want to know why they keep using it? It's because it works. It gets people to log on. They wouldn't keep doing it if it didn't work. It's common sense. It's super dismissive of the increasing amount of direct FOMO culture in video games. People are going to complain. Of course they are. Well, it's dismissive because it's stupid. Oh, wow, I have to get this right now. No, you don't, you fucking weirdo. Stop it. You've got 8 other costumes in the game. You don't need number 9. Take your fucking medication. Holy shit. People are fucking, they're nuts. Just stop it. Like, if you don't want to do it, then stop fucking doing it. Stop blaming the video game because you're neurotic. Jesus. It's so annoying. I mean, there's levels of FOMO. Yes, there are, of course, right? And I'm not going to say, like, all FOMO is good, all FOMO is bad. No, but I don't think a battle pass is the end of the world. I really don't think I don't think it's a big deal. Talk about HOTS. I mean, Blizzard made everything complicated. Bro, Blizzard does that with every game. But it's a new visor for my Spartan in Halo. It's a first-person shooter game. You can't even see the visor. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I mean, it's addict behavior. It's why gamers are susceptible to gamba. People need to take a step back and realize it's not okay to have it. It's okay to not have everything. Yeah, it's just, I mean, again, like, I think that there are regulations that need to happen. Like, do I think that the government should make it to where you can't have FOMO in a video game? Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely fucking not. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, as if FOMO is even in the same conversation as gotcha boxes and 17 different types of currencies. Now, people like that devalue the whole message because they conflate their personal opinion with something that's, like, fucking provenly bad. It's not a big deal, but it's a step. People have the right to not like it. Everybody has the right to think whatever they want. That doesn't mean that I don't have the right to think that what they think is stupid. Of course people have the right to do, duh, what? But what I'm saying is that the world doesn't need to change because you're neurotic. Sometimes it's just your fault. Yeah, really processing some phone stuff. They used to get 1-2 weeks and move on. Exactly, man. Imagine if there's a new mount every 2 weeks, but if you don't get it in those 2 weeks, it's gone. You'll never see it again. What do you mean, imagine if? Like, that's what Gladiator mounts and the Keystone Master mounts are. It's not every 2 weeks, but it's very regular. Like, like at a certain point, like, yeah, you could say you don't like that, and, like, we don't know, like, what the scope of the battle pass is or anything like that, but I think that saying that battle passes are bad categorically because they encourage FOMO is, like, it's true in an abstract sense, but it completely removes any conversation of, like, where the line is out of the conversation. It removes it. It's like, well, it's all bad. Okay, well then, all right, there we go. That's not really much to say. That's what I think. If you fall for FOMO, then you're mentally handicapped. Is the industry designed to target at-risk individuals? I hate to tell you this, man, but every single type of advertisement is designed to make you do something that you are not normally going to do. Stop trying to fucking say this is at-risk individuals just because somebody can't fucking stand the idea of their character not having every single item in the wardrobe for the video game. Stop trying to say that, like, oh, this is all people that have mental disorders. No, there's plenty of people that are just being fucking weird and they want the whole game and the whole world to fucking revolve around their own neurotic state of mind. Stop it. Just stop it. It's so weird. Do you have all the things installed in WoW? I do. Yes, I like collecting the stuff. What do you think? Well, yeah, of course. But yeah, I like collecting things. Is that not... Is that bad? No, it's not bad. It is bad whenever I sit around and I complain about it constantly, which I don't do. There are plenty of things that yeah, that's not even the point, yeah. You can do it. It's just don't complain about it the whole time. Jesus. Okay, let's see here. I'll watch this. So basically, Asmongold watched my video and everyone hated it. So this happened. Oh, actually, yeah, we'll watch this one, then we'll watch the Soul Frame thing, okay? Basically, I watched the guy's video, and people were shitting on the guy in the video. And it was the guy that did the Tower of Fantasy review. It's this guy, right? Now, what I said about the video was that obviously the review of Tower of Fantasy was not very good. It was not a fair, good review. If you think that the game, it's a bad game, and because it has gacha stuff in it, that's fair. I understand that. But it's still not a review. It's just not. So that's it. Comments in a thread are crunchy as fuck. We'll look at it and we'll go from there. He wanted to hate it, so he did. Yeah, he went in with a biased take. Exactly. Like, it's the same thing. Like, I view that as the exact same as like whenever Quinn played Final Fantasy. It's like he went into it thinking it was going to be bullshit. He played it. It was bullshit. He made a joke out of it. It's like, of course, like, that's kind of dumb. I thought people completely overreacted with the Quinn stuff, and I thought it was pathetic the way that people got so mad about it. But, yeah, I mean, of course it was some goofball shit. So let's read the post. We'll watch the video, okay? Give me 1 second. I'm going to get a drink, and we'll do that, okay? Self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah. I try to, like, whenever I went into Final Fantasy, I went into it with an open mind. I think that it's important to, if you want to make content about games and review games, you can say categorically, I won't review this game, or I think this game is garbage because it has, pay to win in it, or something like that. But, like, even with Diablo Immortal, I played the game. I got to max level. And I concluded the game was garbage. I didn't just play it for 5 minutes the first time I opened the shop, and then that was it. I played the game, and I said, this game fucking sucks. Guild Wars 2 Andes. Me sad they're not included. Yeah, I don't play Guild Wars 2. Anyway, hey all, it's been a very strange 72 hours for me. I'm clearly a small YouTuber, have a very close community, wasn't at all for every one of my videos to be picked up by quite literally Asmongold himself. This has been a massive learning curve for me. I realize how much I need to learn and how to make a video read to a wider audience other than my own. A lot of jokes present in the last video definitely required the context of knowing me, who I am, before getting them, and obviously not viable for someone of my size. It pretty much came from a drive to make the people that I already know laugh. I think that makes sense, sure. Yeah, he's like making a video for his friends rather than making it for the public. Yeah, sure, I can see that. I've done that before too, especially when I was a lot younger. Yeah, I can totally understand that. I've been wanting to branch out and doing general MMO content for a while, mainly have a focus on ESO. I didn't want to be another normal reviewer, as it doesn't fit my personality or my style as a creator. That's fine. I think that's totally okay. But the thing is, like, whenever you do... So, like, for example, like, there are things that you can review it and not review it, and it's just like, for example, your review of Tower of Fantasy would have been a lot funnier if you'd never even played the game. Like, all you did was make anime waifu characters and see how big you could make their boobs, or how stupid you could make them look. And that's all you did. And then at the end of the video, after the character creator, you're like, all right, guys, well, I don't know. I think the game's kind of shitty. The gameplay, I mean, look, guys, it is what it is. A character creator's okay, though. And that's it. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's, like, the thing is, if you're going to tell a joke like that, and you're going to do something like that, it has to be at least a little bit more on the nose, because a lot of people aren't going to know one way or another. That's the way that I see it. You guys see kind of the point? Yeah, it's interesting. Exactly. Yeah, it's interesting. Recently been playing Guild Wars 2, Final Fantasy 14, and Mortal Online 2. Put in 100 to 200 hours before I start making opinions on them. However, I strongly believe any pay-to-win game should not be taken seriously. I don't believe that I should even consider giving them a chance because they fail to give players a chance. I actually enjoy visual elements of Tower of Fantasy. If it didn't have any pay-to-win elements, I would probably give it a go. I know it's a trope to compare it to Genshin Impact, but I did end up playing Genshin for a while on its launch, just on the basis of I like the look of it. In any case, thank you, Asmongold, for watching the video, and actually really appreciated being able to watch someone view it live, so I was able to see what parts didn't land due to them being in jokes in my community. It's easy to forget that as a small content creator, especially one who's come from a single game like ESO, where the majority of the audience knows who I am already, that videos like this can reach a wider audience. And to mouth breeders that have to type the hate comments that transcended into being a video game, go outside. And also, get out of my fucking community, too. If I see you guys doing that, I'm going to permaban you. Anybody who ever watches a video that I watch and then thinks that it's acceptable to be hostile towards the person who I'm watching their video, I will just immediately ban you. That's it, period. And even if it's like making fun of their appearance or something like that. Now, obviously, like if it's a bald guy and we know the guy, right? It's like Bellure. It's like, wow, Bellure's hairline's getting as bad as yours. It's like, okay, like we know the guy, like he's got a rapport with the channel, right? But if this is a random person, no, you don't know them. You're not part of this community. We have no interaction with them. You don't talk about them like that. Learn some fucking learn some basic human fucking social cues, social skills, whatever you want to call it. It's common sense, man. Show's fucking bad, yeah. And so, like, anytime that somebody feels like their opinion on an individual's appearance needs to be seen by Twitch chat, most of the time that's the last opinion the Twitch chat's ever gonna see. That's all it comes down to. Nobody wants to read that. Especially not from some loser who's too fucking fragile to even have a profile picture of themselves. Get the fuck out of here. It's pathetic. It's best from hostility, ignoring a content creator. As a viewer, if actually dislike content, best thing you could do is give them 0 engagement. I agree with that. I definitely do. Yeah, that's generally how I see it. I'll watch this, and we'll see kind of what he said, and in general, I think that games being pay to win, it is important to understand how a game is pay to win. And I think that it's important to understand like the positives and negatives of each game, even inside of that. Because I do think that more and more games are going to be like that. And while I do think that a game that is pay to win in terms of power is a lot worse than a game that sells cosmetics, I think both of them are to some degree devaluing the experience that the player has. And I think this is true. I've said this many times, is that cosmetic rewards are rewards in themselves. You know, having something cool like Invincible, or having something cool like, you know, like the new tier set or something like that. So if you can just buy something equivalent to that on the store, it devalues comparatively what you've obtained and earned in game. So I don't really believe that like, you know, some of these games are like really that much better. I think that it's really an issue of like pick your poison. And it's like, you know, one of them kills you, the other one makes you sick. That's fine, but don't pretend like one of them doesn't do anything. They're both bad. That's just the way gaming is nowadays. I don't know if it'll ever change. I don't know if it ever can change. But it's important to keep in mind. Here we go. He went too far, but he shouldn't be bullied. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, maybe I shouldn't watch it on stream then, because like I don't want to have like like anybody from my audience who thinks it's like funny to do that, or like they're like agitators, you know, like try and take it too far. Maybe we'll watch something else, and I can. No, it's okay. Yeah, watch it. Well, I don't know. What do you guys think? Like I don't know. I'm torn on it. Watch it off stream? Yeah, I'll watch it off stream, then I can watch it again on stream. Just at least watch part of it, so I can get a general vibe of it. Sure. Yeah, I'll do that. Let's see here. What's that game called? I forgot what the game's called. Soulframe. Soulframe reveal trailer. Here we go. I never watched this for whatever reason.
It began as song.
So it's like a fantasy MMO, okay.
Solemn. They that heard came hollow, fallen.
Oh shit.
their children raised in castles loft, made hunters grave of others not.
Why was this the scene that everybody started reminding me to do 1080p on? Like, nobody said that about the first scene. What's going on, guys?
Remember this. We are a family.
Okay.
Yet beyond the pale of Odin's sky live verdant fields of rain and wild, where omen beasts of Alka's lost. Remember
Is that his mount?
until the gods.
Wait, actually he's naked. This isn't Mr. Hands, is it? It's Mr. Moose. That's a cool looking moose. I like that. He's dead, yeah. Okay, so does he have a metal arm? Why is he, is it, they have COVID over there too?
Envoys of shame, and bear their souls within your frame. Find your spirit, your grace renewed, and return to earth, her power true.
It's like Game of Thrones. Bro, that scene was so badass in Game of Thrones. Holy shit. So it's like, oh shit, it's going down. Which scene? Oh no, it reminded me a lot of the scene with Sir Arthur Dane. Like walking up and like you could see Dawn, which was his sword. And he walked up and everybody turned around and they were like, oh, fuck, right? That's what it was. Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. Okay. Is this like bullet time or something like that, or what? Wait, you just turned him into a rock. You know, like alter time or something like that? Like that movie? It's a time sword? Yeah, exactly. That was weird, yeah. I like the idea of it, though. Like, I feel like the idea of it was like you, like, move time forward 1,000 years inside of that circle or something like that, and it turned all of them to stone. Because they were stuck there for 1,000 years. Like, theoretically, that sounds really cool. It's a decent concept. It might not really be good implementation of the idea, but it's a cool concept. They really like that bird,
Join
huh?
us, won't you?
I don't know what to think. To be honest with you, I really don't know what to think about this. I don't know. Like, I feel like... You want to know my honest opinion? I think that they should have cut the trailer right here. They should have cut it right there, and it would have been 1,000 times better. Like, if they had cut it right there, like, you wouldn't have known what was going to happen. It would have been way better. People would have been like, wait, what the fuck is this, right? Like, the whole time thing, like, maybe, like, I'm guessing that's what happened, but, like, let's say that's not what happened. It's kind of weird. I really liked the last scene. I didn't think it was that interesting. It's like, whatever. The combat scene was weird, exactly. Yeah, after he takes out the sword, he's ready to fight. Yeah. I just feel like, yeah, the whole combat scene was like, well, let's watch this part again. It's just... Oh, it can't be time. Because the grass isn't... No, it's not time. Because the grass didn't die. Yeah, like, I don't know. I thought that was dumb. Am I crazy? Like, it just... Yeah, it turned into stone. Okay. Yeah, wouldn't the grass grow, not die? Well, it wouldn't stay the same. Time doesn't turn people to stone as well. I mean, yeah, but like you could make it seem kind of like that, right? Like maybe the armor would kind of turn and it would look more like that, you know? I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, this game, like, I'm not, like, I never played Warframe, so I don't know how good. Like, if I thought Warframe was a great game, and I've never played it before, but if I believed that it was a great game, I would think to myself, wow, this is going to be fucking awesome. But I don't know what that is, so I don't have any proof of concept to really have an opinion on this. Warframe is good. It's solid. Yeah, I mean, I'm quitting Destiny. I'm definitely not getting Warframe. Two sides of the same coin. Yeah, I don't know, man. If you thought PoE was difficult to learn, Warframe will blow your mind. Yeah, it's hard to say. But, I mean, I don't know. Trailer looks okay. I'm relatively excited, but as I said, the combat was really not super cool, in my opinion. Not super cool. But yeah, I want to look at a few videos today and go over that stuff. I'm going to play some PoE and keep getting back into that. I got to call my dad kind of soon, too, and see what he's up to. And you should play it with someone who can guide you. Yeah, maybe I will. Legal. There's a lot of videos I gotta watch. I'll try to get on earlier tomorrow and watch some more of them. I don't like watching videos as much at night because I like the way the camera looks during the day more than at night because it's like it's too orange at night. That's why. Yeah, let's see here. Let me some Zackrawrr and PoE. I mean, we'll see what happens, right? Why are you streaming on your alt, not your mainstream? Because I'm getting dental work done, and I can only talk like this for maybe like 2 hours, and then it has a cooldown, and it becomes uncomfortable. That's why. Okay, let's see here. We're after the Akon raid trailer. I think I saw the Akon raid trailer. I'm pretty sure I did. Change your light then? I think it's just that the natural light is better. That's all. That's all it comes down to. And let's see here. And I am getting the teeth stuff taken care of very, very, very soon. So almost soon enough for me to start getting anxious about it. Isn't that exciting? There's a couple other things I need to do, but like all that's like small shit. I might play a little bit of Tower of Fantasy today to catch up. Did they increase the level cap today? Yeah, what is it? Is it 40? Oh, it's 44. Oh, shit. Is it going to be 44 tomorrow? Or 46 or 45? Probably 44 tomorrow. 2 days. So it's 2 a day. Okay. What am I doing?